Hello, my protagonists, and welcome to another Darkborne Learns here at the Bar Boys Cafe on Doki Doki Donut. So, how have you been, my protagonists? I hope you've been having a great day. And, yes, I am feeling much better. I had to take a while off, unfortunately, due to certain things. But, yeah, we're back. We're back, and we're back at it. So, I'm feeling much better. Tomorrow, actually, I will be getting I have an appointment tomorrow for my COVID shot. So, I'm actually excited for that. My very first one of the two. I don't know which one I'm getting, but I am excited that I will be finally getting the vaccine, that I'm able to get the vaccine. So, there we go. Now that we're here and together, here, now that we're here together, are we ready to get into our little coffee date? Now, shall we? Let's go ahead and get into this. And I also got some explaining to do. All right, let's start our coffee date here. And as you can see, basically, what is going on is that I kinda, sorta went ahead. Just a little. And we were given the assignment by Blender Guru to create a plate for the scene, and so I did. I created a plate. I created my own plate. Kind of figured it out on my own. Kind of figured it out with everything that's going on, and yeah. So that's where we're at right now, and I'm surprised I'm over here on this side of the screen. Oh, that's right. On this on this day, I'm over here on this side of the screen. All right. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and play the lesson that I did. We kind of went ahead and I already textured, and I already did the wall, as you can see, and I already did the table. Now I did go also beyond that, which was not part of the lesson, but I noticed that tables, especially in cafes, have this rounded edge. So if you see in my picture versus the one in his picture, it's a flat edge, and I wanted to make sure it had a more rounded edge to it to give it a bit more feel. His table is going to be a different texture than mine. His wall is going to be a different texture and color than mine. Also, I put the Bar Boys Cafe logo on the wall as well, thanks to Leo for helping me with that one. So yeah, so here we go. Let's go ahead and listen to this lesson, shall we? This is the lesson I did without you all. And so yeah, here we go.
Hope you made a plate. If you didn't, shame on you. Go and make a plate. Do your homework. Come on. Can't just
I did
leave
do the plate, so yeah.
Sitting on a countertop. Mine's really, obviously, the most simplest of all plates. It's just a circle that's been inset and then pulled down very slightly. And then the only other thing is the material. It's the default material, but then the roughness is set to 0 so that it is reflecting like a plate should. Looks like a plate. And the only other thing I did was I parented my donuts to the plate as well, so that when you
I did that as well.
The donut goes with it, which you might want to do. Anyway, in this part, we're going to make the countertop look like a countertop. So, got to give it a texture. And why not go to the best textures in the world, which is Polygon.com.
I'm just gonna let him
biased,
say this, and
website.
Yeah, it is. He is biased,
but
the textures on there are actually kind of nice.
Make your own call.
But yeah.
So we're going to use one of these textures, and it just so happens we've got some free ones. So if you go to the Refine by Free then you should see 3 textures. And this is the one that I would suggest. You can choose any one you want. If you want to switch it up, go for it. But this is the one that I would suggest. Now, as I mentioned before, when it comes to the size, the resolution, you would think bigger would be better. Sometimes it is. But it also uses up more RAM. So 2K, I think, should be enough. Like, it just depends on like how much space in regards to the resolution of the screen. But 2K, I think, will be fine. Then for the maps, this is, you know, somewhere down the road at Polygon, we'll probably release this as an update. But like for something like Marble, you don't need any other map other than the diffuse, right? Because like there's no bump to Marble. I mean, there might be a very tiny slight amount. There's no like gloss value. There's no like reflection value. It's all just like a flat thing. So really the diffuse map is all you need. So go ahead and hit download once you've got that. So once you've downloaded a Polygon texture, you'll get a zip file, unzip that zip file, and then you inside it, you should see 2 folders, like a previews one, which just has like the thumbnails, and then you've got regular, and inside that you'll have the resolution, and there would be the actual texture. Okay, so what I want to do is go to my shading tab with the table here selected, go to shading, and then if you haven't got a material on your plane already, give it a new material, and we could even give it a name, like countertop. Then, to add this texture in here, all I'm going to do is take that, and actually, just before I do it, I'm going to use 3K instead, just so it's slightly more resolution than 1, because I think 1 will be a little bit too low res. And I'm just going to drag that over to Blender, which is something that a lot of people don't know you can actually do. But yeah, you can drag into Blender and it'll create an image node when you drop it into the node editor there. And then the only thing I want to drive, like this is, I just want it to drive the color of my material. So I'm going to take the color output of that and then put that into the base color input. And then when I do that, you can actually switch to
I did that as well. Yeah.
Do it even faster than
I did all that as well. So.
You would see this.
And now he's going to talk about Marble.
Then the other thing I want to change,
which is
it's a thing, roughness amount. Okay,
that's important.
Because Marble, as it turns out,
I'm going to stop him right there for a second. So the importance of when you are doing things like this is to think about the real world ones, especially. And I know I'm new. I am extremely new, but having done the video, he's right about you have to really think about all the little intricacies of the material itself for when you want to do what you want to do, especially if you want to give it imperfections. And I have to thank Shin for helping me add the imperfections to my table. To give it that little bit of wear and tear, because it was just a little too pristine. Even though it was beautiful, it was still kind of a little too pristine. But let's continue on. Let's continue on with this lesson.
Is pretty much as sharp as a mirror. In fact, I took this reference photo. I was at a hotel in Seoul, and I was like, "Hey, Marble!" So I went up and I was taking a lot of photos, an unnecessary amount of photos. And then like some old man was like walking through, and he's like, "What are you up to?" And I was like, "I'm a 3D artist. I'm doing it for reference photos." And he was like, "All right, cool." Just kept walking. And I was like, "Yep, it's exactly how I expected that conversation to go." But anyways, point is, it's a pretty sharp reflection. So anyway, if we look at it in cycles view mode up there, then this is how it looks. And that's Marble, right? Now, if you want to change the scale of your Marble, which you may or may not want to do, depending on what you've got. You could change the size of the countertop, because what's my size now? It's 1 by 1 meter. But if you look at it from like the camera view, you can see that you could scale this in even further if you wanted to. But let's say you don't want to do that. You can change the scale of the material that's being applied to it from a material shader level. And you can do that by hitting Control T with the image node selected. Control T. Assuming you've got the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, which you should still have because we've been using it throughout this whole thing. It'll just add in these 2 nodes very quickly. And the one thing we're looking for down here is scale. And if you click and drag down, it'll actually select all the values underneath it, which is something that I've discovered for Blender embarrassingly late. It's been there for the whole time, and I've been typing it in manually each time. But anyway,
thanks to him,
I'm going to type in
we
2.
were
I'm gonna do
able
that.
to learn it.
You can
Thanks
see
to
it
him.
scaled it, so it's now like tiling it, like it's putting it there, and there. So it's like it's scaling it. It's like twice the texture in the same space. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, and if you want to have a different part of the material, you could like move the plane a little bit, since we've got room on both sides of it, to something like that. And yeah, cool. And just whilst you're playing around with that, I'll just show you as well. This is something that I discovered pretty late in my CG career.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to reveal what I did. And, yeah, so you are going to get to see basically where we are at. And so this is what we're at now. There's a little bit of imperfections that you can see on the table. It is wood. And, yep, there's the cup. I'm going to go ahead and put it in that mode. So it semi-renders the, so there you go. That is the, go. Oh, we're hiding these cameras. All right, and looking out here, and kind of, I want you to just kind of see what I did. And let's see here, shift, and we're gonna, and just kind of, actually let me kind of hide this one. And so basically, that's, there we go. And basically, that's what I did with the table. There's the wall. There's the wall, there's the sign, the Bar Boys Cafe sign. And, so yeah, we're going to go back to, okay, and click out here, and alright, there we go, and there we go, there you have it. Okay, alright, now I'm going to go ahead and put this on this one, now that you can see what I did. I'm going to show you in shading. I'm going to click on the table, and yep, I added a plastic, I added a plastic shiny with like some roughness fingerprints on it. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I did. All right, let's see here. I'm trying to see which one of these has the render region. Nope. So weird. Trying to oh goodness. All right. Alright, let's see here. I don't know what this is. We're gonna move it over here because it's so freaking annoying. But anyways. So, but yeah, that's, yeah, all the nodes and stuff that we did with that, we're gonna go back to the layout. I don't know how I did that, but here we go. Yeah.
And that's like, what usually separates the best artwork from like average artwork is just honestly trying out a number of ideas. And one of those things you can do is something like materials, right? So what I like to do is I just download a bunch of textures from Polygon even, and then I unzip them, and then I just go through and I just add them in one by one like this. And I take that image node and I drop it in here and I go, how does that look with like a quartz kind of thing? And I take that scale and I apply that and I go, yeah, that looks okay, but I prefer this one or another one or whatever, right? So anyway, these textures are obviously from the premium side of Polygon, but I'm just showing it as an example of what is this?
Of course, he's using the more premium one.
What you can do. And honestly, like I'm not just saying it because I own Polygon, but like this is like one of the ways that you can really improve your materials. In fact, it's like I've noticed it. Like if you watch any making of video of like any artist, you'll see that they just throw a bunch of ideas. That's what kit bashing is, like throwing ideas into things and trying it out rapidly. So anyway, it's something that you could do.
Yeah, and he has a very good point.
Cool. That's our marble. Looks okay. The only other thing that I would change with this marble is the subsurf, because believe it or not, marble has subsurf. And it kind of like the light doesn't just hit it and bounce off it, like it kind of enters into it. Looks almost like milky in a way, like kind of like a yellow tint to it. So I'm going to add in a subsurf value of 0.1, and it'll look milky but also a little bit red, and that's because the radius values for some reason by default are set for skin, I guess, because maybe that's the default use. But anyway, in our case, I want them to be 0.1, all of them 0.1. 0.1, is that enough? Maybe 0.18. Something like that, and then I'll make the color.
See how far are we
a
into
little bit,
the lesson?
just slightly yellow.
So I'm going to go ahead and kind of
something like that. And that looks a little bit closer to marble. Not too shabby. Cool. Now, cool. I just for a minute there I thought I wasn't recording. That would be a bummer. Now let's create the brick wall behind it. So
so here we go with the wall.
Let's
this
just
is how he
duplicate
did
this
the
plane
wall.
here. So I'm going to go. Let's go layout mode. So we've got a bit bigger. I'm going to hit Shift D on that plane there. And by the way, I've turned off the screen keys tool because for some reason there's a bug in it where when you drag in nodes, it just like crashes it. So anyway, you won't see what I'm pressing. But Shift D, and then I just moved it along the X-axis by just hitting the middle mouse button. So move it, middle mouse. And then I wanted to flip it by 90 degrees. So R, and then I'm going to rotate it along the that green axis there. So that's Y. So I just hit Y, and then holding down Control, you can see the top left-hand corner, I'm making that minus 90 degrees, okay? Now, importantly, you want to check to make sure that you have rotated it the correct way. So up here, we're going to turn on face orientation. Very important that the blue side is the side that's facing the camera. If you see red, you got to flip it. You got to rotate it the other way or flip it. So make sure that it's blue. That's very, very important. Okay, and then I want to give it a new material. So new material, and I'll call this brick, and then let's go to the shading tab, and actually let's also scale it up. Just do we want to scale it up? No, we'll bring it in closer. There we go, so that it's just occupying the view from the camera, like there. Okay, cool. So we need another texture of brick. Like you could make it look what, and you could put wood there. You could put fool around, have some fun, right? But in our case, we're going to make it look like brick. So we have brick here, and this is the free brick section. So I would suggest you use this guy right here. I'm actually going to use version 3 of this, which is in the premium section, just a slightly later version of it, which looks slightly more realistic, but you will be totally fine just using this free version right here. Now, in terms of, and look, it's just stalled the site, so it's not actually loading the, now, in terms of the maps that we need, we don't need the diffuse in this case. In fact, we don't need most of these. You could use like ambient occlusion if you wanted to for like a little bit of thing there, or like displacement if you were doing like getting the camera really close to the brick, you would use something like that. But in our case, the one map that we're going to use is the normal map, and that's all we're going to use. So it's like faking bump. It's exactly like what we did for the condensation. So that's the only one of these that we're going to use, the normal map. And then for the size of it, you could probably actually get away with 1K because it's like in the background and it's going to be out of focus. So you can just download that. So once you've downloaded and unzipped that, what you're going to do is bring up your little window here, find your folder, which you've unzipped, and then you're going to take that normal map and drag it across into the shader window node.
I know, I'm
setup.
not trying to be facetious.
Gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? The node.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we're almost. He's almost done with this. His tutorial has only got for this video. It only has about six more minutes on it. Let's take a look here and. Alright, let's see here, and let's go here. Alright, let's keep going.
View?
Right,
There's a word for it. Shader editor is what it's technically called, but who calls it that? Anyway, alright, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag that not into the base color because we're not driving the color at all. We're just going to drive the bump, so into the normal input.
So we're almost there. We're almost done.
All right, now when you do that, it'll become completely black.
So we can finally get into the portion that we're going to be
normal map nodes. This is going to convert that from a colored image into something that Blender can actually read. You can see it starts to look a little bit like a bump now. But as well as that, we also need to change the color space to non-color data. And because of that bug, it won't refresh it. So let me just do that. And there we go. So now it's actually treating this like a proper bump. And it's all working fine, except it's rotated the wrong way. So I'm going to rotate it along what axes? X-axis by 90 degrees. Your axes could be different depending on which way the camera is facing. And I'm just going to go underneath it. And, well, first of all, actually, let's move this light. Move it to this. Oh, I think I moved it the wrong way. Move it to the side a little bit, just so that I can see from the point of view down here. I want this to look like paint, right? So I'm going to use a roughness value that's a little bit sharper than what it was by default. So around about a 0.3 will look a little bit like paint. Not wet paint, obviously, but something that's, yeah, just a little.
We're going to stop here for just a moment. And, hello. How are you all doing, my beautiful protagonists? I hope you're holding on. We're getting there. I just kind of wanted you to see, like last time, I just kind of wanted you to see where I kind of went ahead. Alright, so here we go. Let's finish up. There is 4 more minutes left on this tutorial before we move on to the next part.
A little bit not as dull as rubber or whatever. So cool. Now here's the cool thing. So because we've driven this and we're making it apply to the bump map, the base color is totally open here, and that's the color of it. Like this paint here, even though the material that we downloaded was white, right? It was painted white. Because we're only using the bump map, this is wide open, so I could make this look like anything. So it's a cool thing. Like, you don't actually realize, but like when you go to find a material, if you're only using the bump map of something, you can make that color look like anything you want. So it looks like a pink purple brick texture, right? Pink brick wall for the back of our cafe there. Just like that. Pretty cool. And that's basically that. The only other thing I'm going to change is with my light here. We're just going to do a very this is the most basic.
I actually did all of this, by the way.
Ever do, but it's the simplest and sometimes the simplest.
I already did all these adjustments.
One single light just to the side, and I'm trying to think of like a cafe, right? So that's what I'm trying to emulate here. That's what this brick wall is doing.
A cafe, you say?
Is,
you don't say a cafe. Like,
so in a cafe, there's a window, right? And you've got natural light coming in through that window. So that's what this is here. Now the size of this, you can see as I increase or decrease that, this size here changes. In fact, let's go to layout mode. That would probably help. So it's a little bit bigger to see. Let's go in here. Yeah, so as I increase the size of this, you can see that it looks softer. It looks like overcast lighting. And that's why overcast lighting looks, it looks flat and uniform. It's because like the whole sky becomes its big giant light source, like a big diffuse light box. because this size here is as if that is a big glowing ball in your scene right now. That's the size of it, right? So soft lighting tends to actually look really good for food, depending on the type of food. But for this type of food, soft lighting will look good. However, it's so soft right now that it's lost direction. It's like you're losing shadow in there, which is helping you to understand form. So actually, you want to find a value kind of like soft, but it's got a little bit of edge to it. So I'm going to go with like a 0.8 value, right? In fact, in the lighting series, which I recommend you watch if you want to understand lighting more, I made that series because honestly, I think lighting is so important, and there was really no tutorials that I could find that was teaching lighting theory very well. So I made that whole series. It's on YouTube. I'll put a link up there, wherever that little eye is, and you can click that and watch it. Maybe watch it after this series so that you've actually, mentally signed off on something before you move on. But it's definitely a good one if you want to take the next step. Cool. So that's it. That's the lighting. That's the brick. That's the countertop. And the only other thing, by the way, I would check is just check that the bricks that are in your this brick wall here, like the texture is important, like the scaling of things. And as it turns out, the size of these bricks is about the size of a coffee cup. So like the brick height. So actually, I've just realized this brick here should be about double the size. So I'm going to hit S and then type in the number 2. So S and then 2. That'll just scale it twice, and now it's roughly the right size. So now when I move that back to about there, and this is like really subtle, right? It's pretty subtle, but it's just going to help the scene feel a little bit more grounded, a little more real, because the texture is actually going to match it in relation to the light and the shadows. It'll all just start to feel like an actual real scene. So just something minor, but can be important. All right, so in the next part, we're going to be adding in some final touches to add in all the correct settings and make this final image look polished before we move on to the animation. So click there, and I will see you in the next part. Welcome to what will almost certainly be an outline.
And we're back. Hey, everyone. All right. So, took a little break. Made a little post. Got myself a little drink. So, it should be okay. And now we're going to go ahead and go back into it. All right. So, let's go ahead and go back into this. Shall we? Let's get back to our little coffee date. All right. So now let's kind of go back and listen to what he has to do. Now we're at the last adjustments. So we're all together, all on the same part. We're all at the same part. The wall and the table are done. Oh yeah, I didn't explain. So I rounded the table. I went ahead and did the edges. Kind of. All right, me. Wait, hold on. All right, let me. Goodness. All right, me. All right, let me. Now, yeah. There we go. All right. Whoops. All right, let's see here, and yeah, and all right. Well, I can't seem to get my angle right. Okay, wait. All right, what is going on? All right, now we are going here. There we go. I just wanted you to kind of see what I did with this table. Can you see that? Can you see that edge? So that's the edge I put on the table. And that was thanks to Leo's help. I was able to turn that into a more rounded edge. And let's go back here. And now we're going to go hit the 0 and get back into camera view. And now let's go ahead and start this new tutorial. Hopefully we'll be able to do the finishing touches to this. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go to this view. Yeah. And let's go.
Liar in its boredom.
Here we go.
Welcome to what will almost certainly be an outlier in its boredom. Maybe. This video, we're just going to be doing final touches to the visual look of everything, because basically when you're making something, and this is actually a good point that you should take away from this, when you're building a scene, you don't want to try to like finish everything completely perfectly before moving on to the next thing. The best way to work is to like splatter, like block in the big shapes, then come back and do the materials, then do the lighting, and then come back and do the textures, and then do something else, and then come back and do the simulation. Like, you should do it like that. So basically, once you've got everything in the scene where you want it and how you want it, you'll start noticing a couple of things, like, oh, the donut material doesn't look quite right. The sprinkle, the icing, or the sprinkles are a little bit too big, or I want a different color scheme, etc. So there's all these little things that along the way that could be improved, and I want to help you guys make a good image, not just learn Blender, which I hope you have been learning Blender, but to make a good image. So point is there's a couple of things we want to change. For starters, this was just one that I just forgot. In the liquid tutorial, as short and pointless as that tutorial was, it was like adding one node. I forgot to include the one other thing, which people immediately pointed out in the comments, and that's the index of refraction, or IOR.
Oh,
if you don't know what refraction is, it's like if you stick a straw in a glass of water and like the straw looks like it's going sideways, that's refraction. It's like light is being like twisted and whatever. This will define that amount. So 1.45 is the amount for glass, but for liquid, including water, it's 1.33. But actually, even boiled water is an even lower amount. It's 1.31. Now, watch what happens when I change this. Did you notice it?
No, I didn't notice it.
No harm if you didn't, because it's very, very slight.
I
It's
have no idea what he
in
did.
fact, it just looks
All I
as
know
though
is
like
that
this gradient is a little bit more exaggerated, or
Oh,
like, I don't know. There's something
I see
very
it. I
slight
see it
has
now.
changed
I see
about
it.
But it's not a big deal.
All
If
right.
you
Oh
did-
wait. Okay. All right. So he went into. Let's go in here. All right. Went to the liquid. Come on, liquid. Liquid. There we go. Liquid. There we go. Now we're going to the material. No, no, wrong one. Material, and then he went to the and he changed it to 1 point. The IOR. Ah, here it is. I think it was 1.31. Alright, let's see if we can. Oh, goodness. Why is everything taking so long? Alright, now we're gonna move it over just slightly. Oh, okay, I see. There is a bit more gradient into it. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, hold on. Hold on. Let's... Welcome, Raiders! Welcome, Raiders, to the Barra Boys Cafe. I am Darkborne, and welcome to our little, night of where we're learning Blender, and we're doing the final touches on the... Oh my gosh, donuts. Oh my gosh, the donuts. Okay. we're doing we're learning Blender, and we're doing the final adjustments before Asian Juco. Hey. Oh my goodness. Hey, how is it going? So we're putting the final touches onto the image, and before we start doing the animation in the scene of the tutorial, and we just learned some ingredients. So, hello everyone, and thank you so much for the raid. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoy your stay here at the Barra Boys Cafe, and let's get back to our coffee date. Let's go back to learning and making things in Blender. So here we go. All right, so with the raid, whew, oh wow, that was just fantastic. Hold on, let's see here. I don't know why it didn't go off, but we're gonna. Why did it not go off? Why alerts? Let's see here. Let me go back here to. Are my alerts not on? What? Let's see here. Alerts are there. Let's put them all the way up top. All right, let's try this again. Why did it not go off? All right, you know what? I'm gonna go in and see here. Where is the raid one? Oh, raids was turned off. No wonder. There we go. Done. Now.
All right.
There we go. That's what should have happened on screen. I don't know why raids were turned off, but yeah, there you go. You shocked me. You shocked the donut out of my hand. All right, well, let's go ahead. Let's keep on going here in Blender. Let me first get our image back. For goodness sakes, where are we? Why is everything turned off? And I don't know what's going on. Why is everything turned off? I don't know what just happened. All right, let's see here. Let's Oh, that's great. And Blender stopped working. Okay. That's just wonderful. All right, so let's just wait until Blender decides that it's gonna come back. But yeah, we're gonna just sit here because we weren't able to save any of that. So you know what? Let's go ahead and let's close out Blender. We're gonna open it up. Yes, close the program out. All right, we're gonna go ahead and open that again. Let's see here. Hopefully it will not explode on us. Recover last session. Yeah, recover last session. Yeah. There we go. All right. All right. So we didn't do anything on here. Now we're going to go ahead and go in here. Hey, Polly. Yeah, we're getting there. We're see here, we're gonna go ahead and what we're gonna do is he was just telling us right now to change the no, we're not adjusting the shape. I need to I think I need to adjust something here. No wonder. And this is 184. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go here, and we're gonna come on. There we go. All right, and we're gonna go here, and we're gonna do this one is gonna be yeah. All right, so we're gonna go into the liquid itself, and we're gonna go into the material. And what he was talking, I'm gonna go ahead and repeat the part where he's talking about the IOR. So. So because we need to hear that little part just one more time.
Immediately pointed out in the comments, and that's the index of refraction, or IOR. If you don't know what refraction is, it's like if you stick a straw in a glass of water and like the straw looks like it's going sideways. That's refraction. It's like light is being like twisted and whatever. This will define that amount. So 1.45 is the amount for glass, but for liquid, including water, it's 1.33. But actually, even boiled water is an even lower amount. It's 1.31. Now, watch what happens when I change this. Did you notice it? No harm if you didn't, because it's very, very slight.
All right, so I'm waiting for it to...
in fact, it just looks as though like this gradient is a little bit more exaggerated.
I'm just going to repeat that again. What number?
No harm if you didn't, because it's very, very slight.
Okay, so he did it 1.31. So we're going to go ahead and do 1.31 as well.
More exaggerated, or like, I don't know, there's something very slight has changed about it. But, you know, it's not a big deal. If you didn't notice, or even if you just leave it at 1.45, no one's going to know.
Okay, here we go.
Anyway,
1.31.
This was actually something that somebody pointed out in the comments.
Look at that.
People.
Actually, you can see it. It's like right here.
For the condensation around the ring here.
I fixed that already. Yeah.
It would be good if it was like foggy. Because
the fogginess. Yeah,
to steam
exactly.
things up a little bit, right? So why not, as well as droplets, also have a little bit of fogginess, which you can do very simply with a roughness slider. If you just increase that to like 0.2 or more, you'll see that this now looks like frosted glass on just that section. Just the, assuming, of course, you're doing it on the condensation part, it'll look a little bit like frosted glass. And that's just, doesn't add a lot, and especially when we put it in the background with depth of field.
Wait. Hold on. We gotta make sure we pick the right one. On the condensation part, we gotta change the roughness to 0.2. All right, that should. Let's see here. How does that look? And did he do just 0.2 or did he do 0.02? Let's see what he did again.
Just the assuming, of course, you're doing it on the condensation part, it'll look a little bit like frosted glass, and that's just it's a little something.
Oh wait. Hold on here.
Like, why didn't I do that? For the
we got to rewind it back. We got to rewind it back here.
It would be good if it was like foggy. because, you know, condensation tends to steam things up a little bit, right? So why not, as well as droplets, also have a little bit of fogginess, which you can do very simply with a roughness slider. If you just increase that to like 0.2 or more, you'll see that this now looks like frosted glass on just that section. Just the, assuming, of course, you're doing it on the condensation part, it'll look a little bit like frosted glass. And that's just, it's a little something something.
Yeah, there we go.
A little something something. Doesn't add a lot, and especially when we put it in the background with depth of field, you're probably not going to notice much, but it's a little slight thing that that can help. Something else you might have noticed, this cup is like balancing on like a spinning top, right? It needs a little bit more of a solid base. When we were modeling off of the photo, it might have looked plausible, but from this angle, it definitely looks wrong. So we don't want it to topple over. So what I'm going to do, in wireframe mode, I want to flatten it out. But actually, if we were to model this, like change this now, the liquid, you remember, was based off this model, like the inside part of it. So we would have to do that separately.
Oh, goodness.
But if we were to select the liquid and then the cup together, holding down Shift and then Tab, you can now edit both objects at the same time, which is a new feature of 2.8. You didn't used to be able to edit two objects at the same time.
Wait,
now you can.
what?
Let me turn on Screencast Tool. There we go, so you can see what I'm pressing. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is with vertex select mode, which you can get to by hitting 1, 2, or 3. You can switch between those at the top. With 1, I'm just going to select that there, and I'm just going to bring it up to about there. And then this part here, let's just pull that in a little bit, and then let's bring that down. Just like that.
Wait,
I think
what?
that should work.
Wait, what?
So look at that. Yeah,
what?
that looks pretty solid to me. And then I'll add one loop cut just on the back, just on the bottom here, just to create like a really hard lip at the bottom there. And
what
then
is he
with that,
doing to
I'll just
me?
move this down
What?
until it's touching the cup.
What?
I mean the plate.
What?
Until the cup
What?
is touching the plate.
What?
Like
What?
So.
What?
Yay,
Wait.
Thrilling stuff.
Wait.
And also I'll do one little
What?
loop cut just
What?
on the inside part there as well.
Wait.
Just to sort of
What?
sharpen that inner edge, even though you can't notice it. So why am I doing it?
What?
Why do I do these little things? You know, it just looks weird.
It,
I don't know. It just looks like it's not touching it. It's like it's almost touching it. I guess that's because,
I'm gonna
I
leave
do it
my.
fully.
I guess. No, I'm learning this, so I got to do it.
Yeah.
As confused and as I want to refuse to do
I didn't
this.
want to look like it was like hovering.
Okay,
Up,
all
hold
right.
Down Shift and then Tab.
All right.
You can now edit both objects at
Wait,
the same
let's.
time. Which is can help.
Okay.
Something
We're
else
rewinding this because I want to do this right.
This
Okay.
cup is like
Right.
balancing on like a spinning top, right?
Yeah.
It needs a little bit more of a solid base. When we were modeling off
All
of
right,
the photo,
so-
it might have looked plausible, but from this angle, it definitely looks wrong. So we don't want it to topple over. So what I'm going to do, in wireframe mode, I want to flatten it out. But actually, if we were to model this, like change this now, the liquid, you remember, was based off this model, like the inside part of it. So we would have to do that separately. But if we were to select the liquid and then the cup together, holding down Shift and then Tab, you can now edit both objects at the same time, which is a new feature of 2.8. You didn't used to be able to edit two objects at the same time, but now you can. Let me turn on Screencast Tool. There we go, so you can see what I'm pressing. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is with vertex select mode, which you can get to by hitting 1, 2, or 3. You can switch between those at the top. With 1, I'm just going to select that there, and I'm just going to bring it up to about there. And then this part here, let's just pull that in a little bit, and then let's bring that down. Just like that.
All
I
right.
think that should work. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that looks pretty
Okay.
solid
No,
to me. And then I'll add one loop cut just on the
sir,
back,
sir,
just on the
sir,
bottom here.
sir. We're
Both
we're
objects at the
going
same time,
back
which is a
because
new
you're
feature
going
of
too
2.8. You
fast.
didn't used to be able to edit
Sir.
two objects at the same time, but now you can. Let me turn on Screencast Tool. There we go, so you can see what I'm pressing.
Okay.
Anyway, so what I'm going to do is with vertex select mode, which you can get to by hitting 1, 2, or 3. You can switch between those at the top. With 1, I'm just going to select that there, and I'm just going to bring it up to about there. And then this part here, let's just pull that in a little bit, and then let's bring that down.
Okay. So we're okay. We're doing this, and this. Whoa. All right. Now. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, that's a little too close. All right, I guess we're doing this. no, we're doing this. All right, S. All right, we're doing that. And we're doing G. Oh, no. Oh, okay, no. And now we're doing G. And S. No. All right, G. And S. No, 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 no. Yeah, we're going G. Then S. Alright. And for the loop, I guess I. No. Alright. R. Alright, let's see here. What is he doing?
Just like that. I think that should work.
Wait, what?
Let's have a look at that. I'm just going to bring it up to about there, and then this part here, let's just pull that in a little bit, and then let's bring that down. Just like that. I think that should work. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that looks pretty solid to me. And then I'll add one loop cut just on the back, just on the bottom here, just to create like a really hard lip at the bottom there. And then, with that, I'll just move this down until it's touching the cup. I mean the plate. Until the cup is touching the plate. Like so. Yay! Thrilling stuff. And also I'll do one little loop cut just on the inside part there as well. Just to sort of sharpen that inner edge, even though you can't notice it. So why am I doing it? Why do I do these little things? You know what? It just looks weird. I don't know. It just looks like it's not touching it. It's like it's almost touching it. I guess that's because, yeah, I didn't do it fully. Yeah. All right, let's just do that. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I just didn't want to look like it was like hovering.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
How precious do you need to be, Andrew? I ask. There we go. The cup. The cup is now done. I like it. It looks just a little bit more solid. Because here's the thing, like when you make something realistic, which we've done with the wall, we've done with that. When we added the condensation, it's like you can no longer excuse it as being stylized. You've got to commit to a certain style, which is another lesson which you learn over the years. But if you've got like mixed styles, like if you now tried to do stylized, it's just not going to fit because everything else looks photoreal. Something else, these sprinkles. So our sphere sprinkle here, these little spheres.
Yeah,
on top
what
here,
about
they just
them?
look too big. I thought they looked okay, and maybe according to like one of the references that I found, let's see, Donut Aesthetic. Yeah, it was this one. Like I think these look pretty big, but then the sprinkles are also giant next to these balls, and we can't do that big of sprinkles there because then they would be clearly intersecting. Because we don't have, we can't solve for that intersection.
Yeah,
so anyway,
no, I'm
point
leaving
is,
my sprinkles
I'm just going to
alone.
grab that sphere there. I'm just going to scale it down by holding down Control to
I'm
0.7.
just leaving my sprinkles alone. My sprinkles are fine.
You can see the numbers, 0.7. By the way, if when you're scaling something and you're holding down Control or whatever, it's not scaling it, like it's not doing the incremental thing, it's because your snap to value there isn't set to increment, it's set to something else. So set it to increment, and then that means whenever you're moving something and you're holding down Control, it'll actually do it according to increments. Anyway, that looks a little bit better now. By the way, if you did want to change the look of your sprinkles, like you'll remember in the shading, we set up this color scheme here, kind of an arbitrary color scheme.
Yeah, mine's are fine. My sprinkles are fine.
Now's a good a good time to do
Nah,
it, right?
nah,
Because
my
honestly,
sprinkles
like,
are fine.
I
All my
didn't
sprinkles are
set
fine. They're
this
beautiful.
up,
My
like, I'm not
spronks
like
are
the
beautiful.
master of color or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I was just playing with this before, like, the render, and I realized, sorry, before I started recording, and I'm like, hey, like a bluish aqua color actually looks kind of cool. I do actually kind of like that, kind of like a Tutti Frutti kind of look. But I also like the look of white, so
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you. You decide, you know, the colors. It's like
I'd
a
kind
fun
of
thing. You can
rather,
add a personal
I'd rather
touch
have
to it. So we don't have
my
1
spronks
million
stay
donuts
the way
on
they
the
are.
internet that all look identical. Add your little touch to it. Make it black and gold. Make it Halloween color or the color of your favorite sports team. I don't know why you would do that. Somebody will, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to shake things up, trying to make it interesting for you. Okay, another thing we could do, and this is like, you know, again, because we went for the realism thing, we got to commit to it. Why not have some sprinkles on the plate? Why not, right?
Wait, sprinkles on the plate?
Because, you know, you put a donut on a plate, those things are barely hanging on for dear life. Some are going to fall off. Now, if I was to like duplicate or like take one of these sprinkles and put it over there, I need to rotate it, and then that would change the rotation of the ones on the donut. So I don't want to do that. I want to take this sprinkles collection, I want to duplicate that, and then I'm going to uncheck that box for the original sprinkles so that they're still the ones being used for the particles. These are the new ones. So I'll call this sprinkles placed, and then I'm not going to use all of them. Yeah, I'm just going to take all these, and I'm going to move them over to my plate. And then let's go into look dev mode. I don't know if we'll actually be able to see the colors of the sprinkles. I just want to check because, you know, it's using the random color amount.
Yeah, let's see.
There we go. Yeah, we got 3 pink ones, so that's not good. It's luck of the draw, right? You don't know. I guess you could like duplicate one of them and see which other color you get. Let's try that. No, blue again. We got a yellow one. All right, let's do that. So I'll go, yeah, pink. I won't go white. Yeah, blue, pink, yellow. Yeah. And then I'm just going to place them, like hand place them on the plate, which is, you know, always not the most fun thing to do. Actually, what you could do is you could go snap to face, and then when you move it, if you hold down control, it will automatically snap it to the nearest face. It will still be intersecting though, so it only gets you most of the way there. But,
Okay.
And then I'll rotate this guy. And
All
then
right.
I'll hold
Should
down,
we? Okay, I'm gonna.
and then hold down control.
All right.
Snap
hold
it there.
Hold on. All right. So we're gonna dupe. Oh God. All right. So let's. Yeah. Let's. All right. Let's go to 1, and we're gonna go here. All right. We're gonna. Alright, so now we're gonna... Alright, so let's, spronkles. Alright, let's see here. We're gonna duplicate collection. Alright. Alright, now. And now we need to see where they are. Okay, alright. And okay. Right. Shift, and we're gonna go that one and that one, and we're gonna do this one. All right. Yeah, let's now let's move all these. All right, now let's put them on the plate. All right, put them on the plate. All right, let's see here. And we're gonna. Okay, that sprunk is like massive. All right, so I guess we're not gonna. Not going to. So we're gonna. Yeah, I think we're gonna resize all of these. Actually, we're gonna go here, and we're gonna. Oh shoot! Okay. All right, now. Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna. Actually, we're gonna put them here. Whew. Okay. Now. Okay, now. I hope that these are not attached, because they should not be attached now. Alright. S. Why are they making... Why is it making the other sprunk smaller? Should not be attached. Ugh, goodness. Alright. Goodness. Alright. Alright, let's see here. Alright, these should not be. How did... Okay, right. Oh, these are the original sprunks. Okay, sorry. These are the original sprunks. It's these. Okay, alright. And now these. Alright, now. Alright, those. The things you do. Alright. Alright, let's see here. We're getting there. We're getting there. 1, 2. So 1. Alright, so we're gonna do 1. We got 1. And move all of them. Alright, let's now go to where they are. Alright, let's raise them above the plate. And move them out this way. Alright, now. Let's see here. Now these should... Oh. Alright, now. Yes. There we go. That should fix them. Alright, perfect. Alright, now we're gonna individually put them on the plate. Okay. Alright, now. Why is it so below the plate? There we go. There. Alright, now. There we go. Go this way. We're gonna... And we're gonna place it on the plate. Alright. Alright, yeah, because these are... I'm gonna delete that one, delete that one, and... Yeah, we're gonna... we're gonna shift that over here. All right, and now we're gonna move it up, down a bit. Let's see here. We're getting sprinkles on this plate. There's some sprinkles on this plate. There's some sprinkles. There you go. Now, this one, this problem child over here. All right, now let's rotate that one. And there we go. There we go. All right, that should be. There we go. And I think that should be good. Now, all right, we've done that now.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the with the
So
complication
why?
that is the
Why do it by
sprinkles.
hand? Why not set up a particle system? Well, it's because I've only got 3 of them, right? And be my guess, if you want to set up a particle system just for these 3, go for it. But then it's going to be fiddly because you want it to rest on the plate, not half intersecting like they are on the icing, and it's just going to be some things.
It's going to be a hot mess, and
only
it's going to
learn
be
it through,
complicated.
Like, trial and error and just trying things. It's just more trouble than they're worth, and sometimes it's just easier to do it the hard way, so to speak. Point being, like, by hand. And that's how that looks, right?
Yeah.
Little tiny little thing, and it's not much, but it'll make people go like, hey, wow, he could be bothered putting sprinkles on the plate.
Yeah.
That's something. Right, now, I'm just going to take those sprinkles because I don't want them to move now. If I moved the plate, they would stay where they are. So I'm gonna make sure 3 of my sprinkles are parented to the plate. Select the plate last. Control P, keep transform.
All right. So now we got to go into here, and we're gonna. Well, first we're gonna move this sprinkle so where it can be seen, and this same thing with this one. We're gonna move this one just a little more here. All right, so we're gonna shift. Nope. Carefully select. No. Alright. Oh, goodness. Alright. Wow, this all this for sprinkles. All right. Why is it? Oh, goodness. All right. Goodness. Why is it doing this? Why is it being so difficult? All right. All right. I don't want to select the plate just yet. Goodness. Come on. Okay. That's what we're going to do. Okay, and then Control P. And we're going to go ahead and do the... oh, shoot. Control P. And keep transform. There we go. Now they're connected to the plate. All right, there we go. Which is going to be kind of weird with the Spronk. Why it's going to be not moving on its own. But yeah, hey, we're not going to question it. We're not going to question it. Don't question it. All right, anyways, so
Cool.
yeah.
Speaking of the plate, I think the thickness is a little too intense. It's a little too, like, it just looks a little chunky. I want it to look like one of those Carell plates. I think that's an international brand, right? Carell.
I'm keeping my plate as is because I am happy with my plate.
Like once you buy
He
a
can be
Carell
picky
plate,
about
like,
his
oh,
plate.
that's the
I'm
best
happy.
plate.
These are the plates
I don't
that
wanna
you
use
will
any of
see
those
at
heavy
Barboy's
plates again.
Cafe.
So I just want it to look like
We like
that.
them big
At
and
one point,
chunky.
it's like 13 mil right now. There we go. Cool. And then because of that, it's no longer touching the base anymore. So I'll move that down. And that is good. All right.
We are halfway through
Now,
the
very
video.
quickly, the lighting. We've got the lighting looks fine. It looks really good. But something you might want to do is change your environment lighting. So we're using world lighting. The default. Sorry, we're using the default world lighting, which is a slightly gray color. So what that means is that in the background here, this gray color you can see is because of this value here.
Yeah.
If I was to change this, you can see that it now becomes white. Now that isn't just changing the background color, it's changing some of the light that's hitting the scene. So all that world now is actually acting as a source light, and it's actually casting some light into the scene there. And the strength of it is really controlled by the, well, now that I've been able to use nodes, now it's got a strength value there. But the strength of it is really controlled by like how bright that value there is, as well as this strength value underneath it. So if I wanted to make this look like an overcast day, hey, it's an overcast day, and that is horrible. Looks really, really bad and boring. So the default value, being a dark gray, is actually kind of perfect in a way, because if this was set to black, you would see that you're now purely just being lit by the one single light point, and that's okay. But it does kind of look like it exists in outer space or something. There's really almost no situation in the real world where you have zero uncontrolled light. Like light, even in a studio environment, is going to have light bouncing off a wall and coming into it. So this is a cafe. There's another cafe on the right hand side there, and there's going to be chairs, there's going to be other walls, there's going to be light posts and I don't know, other things in the shop, and that's going to contribute some light to this. If you really cared, you could actually like model that or use an HDR and cast that. In our case, I think just having a little bit of a gray grayness to it, and then if you wanted to like even give it a slight little pink color, that will contribute to that as well.
I'm not. I'm just gonna leave it. I kind of like the way it is.
Yeah, you can like tint everything with a world color there, which is kind of cool. But anyway, if we just made it a slightly pink color, like imagining that there's like another pink wall over there, and then just turn that value down to a 0.2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to mention it. We've barely changed anything on that, but I wanted to mention it because it's something that you can do.
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting what he's got to say.
All right, now one thing that will have a big impact is called depth of field. So looking from the point of view of our camera, if we let the samples count out, you can see that everything from the sprinkles up close right to the brick wall in the background is crystal clear in focus. And that is actually impossible, even with your eye, even with any camera in the world. There's no way to have two things that far apart completely in focus. There's always something that is the focal point, and then other things start to fall out of focus. So we can do that in Blender by selecting our camera, then going to the camera tab, and then down here you've got something called depth of field. So check that box.
All right.
Immediately.
All right. Hold on. All right. So we're gonna go to the Blender 101 cam. And we're going to go to the camera depth of field, but let's go here and let's go to the render. Give me a second. Render region. Crop to region. Is it doing it? Let's see here. Let's do this here. Let's do that. No, I guess it's not. Render to region. There we go. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the camera. We're going to click on depth of field and find out what he wants us to do.
You want everything immediately 100% out of focus, which is crazy. So just moving out of that so you're not looking through the camera view, select something as a focus object. So let's just click that little eyedropper and then select icing. And then when we look through the camera, this is what we have. So you can see that now the icing is the one that is in focus and everything else is falling out of focus. This f-stop value here is what's going to define how out of focus it becomes. So it's set to 6.
All right, so we're gonna. Why is it? Hold on. Oh, oops, wrong thing. Wrong thing. All right. We're gonna go over here. Hold on. Why is that error? Rendering error. Why I'm getting a render error. What is going on? No border area selected. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. What happened to the oh goodness, what happened to this camera? All right, there we go. See here. Okay. All right. All right. Neat. All right. So, okay, I see what he was. Select the eyedropper. Select the eyedropper, and we're gonna click on the icing. All right, now we're gonna go back to here, and I guess we're the F stop. Where is the F stop? I don't see. Oh, F stop right there. Okay. All right. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And I don't know why it's... Oh, I've just got to wait for it to render. Okay. Alright, here we go. Oh, so how is everyone doing? Well, we're waiting for this to render and let me know what's going on screen. It says rendering is done. That makes no sense. Everything is just blurry. I see here. What is going on? Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna take off render region. I think that's what was going on. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're in the same area that we were.
And the higher you set this to, those of you who've used a DSLR will know that. Oh, what happened there? I lost whatever was in focus. Yeah, the higher you set that to, the more things become in focus, or like the deeper the depth of field. Right, not the shallower, the deeper the anyway. The more of that wall you can actually see the definition of, right? So anyway, an f-stop of 20 sounds like for a DSLR, that would be like everything basically in focus almost. It's like as far as it goes. Like you can go slightly higher. But for some reason, Blender, you can go like all the way up to, I don't know, whatever value. Because this isn't a real camera. It's a digital camera, and I don't know what this is in relation to everything else. But anyway, I'm going to go f-stop 20 for this.
Oh, a 20,
now,
okay.
The other thing, though, like it's not... I want actually what's right here where the sprinkles are. I want that to be in focus, and currently it's chosen the icing, which is like the middle of the icing, so it's kind of like the whole of the donut is what's in focus. I don't want that. So what I tend to do is I create a new object. So with the icing selected, if I hit Shift S, hold that down and go cursor to selected, my 3D cursor is now at that origin point, and then I'm going to add a new empty right there. And this, I can then, if I hit F2, which is the hotkey for just changing the name of something, I'm going to type in DOF, which just stands for depth of field. You can call it.
Wait, hold on.
So with my camera selected, I can go focus object, and then I can select that.
All right. Now we're gonna back him up just a little bit, and find
this isn't
and just
a real camera.
let's just go to this carefully.
In relation to
all right.
else, but anyway, I'm going to go f-stop 20 for this. Now here's the other thing though, like it's not, I want actually what's right here where the sprinkles are, I want that to be in focus, and currently it's chosen the icing, which is like the middle of the icing, so it's kind of like the whole of the donut is what's in focus. I don't want that. So what I tend to do is I create a new object. So with the icing selected, if I hit Shift S, hold that down and go cursor to selected, my 3D cursor is now at that origin point, and then I'm going to add a new empty right there. And this, I can then, if I hit F2,
Wait.
so with the icing selected, if I hit Shift S, hold that down and go cursor to selected, my 3D cursor is now at that origin point, and then I'm going to add a new empty right there. And this, I can then, if I hit F2,
okay, all right. So now, over here, we're gonna do Shift A new empty access. All right, and we're gonna F2. We're gonna call it. What are we calling it?
which is the hotkey for just changing the name of something. I'm going to type in DOF, which just stands for depth of field. You can call it whatever you want, doesn't matter. And then with my camera selected, I can go focus object, and then I can select that object there.
All
now
right.
this yellow line there, if you see that, that is your limit, which shows you the thing that is actually in focus. Speaking of which, the size of the camera is ginormous. So I'm dialing that back so that it's actually a reasonable size. Doesn't look like lines just randomly going everywhere. Also, the depth of field, I'm going to make this a sphere and change the size of that.
Wait, what? We just created. Okay, we just created a depth of. Where is that? Where's the empty? Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. Okay. All right. Let's see here. With the camera selected, then we go. And then we're gonna go to the. Okay, so it's right here. Okay. Oh, goodness. All right. Now, camera selected. We're going to. Plane access. Oh, goodness. Where is that? Oh, DOF. Alright, so we're gonna go we're gonna go here. Alright, so it's that right there. Okay, alright. So, camera selected. There, we're going to click on that. Why is it not... goodness. Alright. I don't know what I'm not getting. I honestly don't understand what I'm not getting in here. All right.
That down and go cursor to selected. My 3D cursor is now at that origin point, and then I'm going to add a new empty right there. And this, I can then, if I hit F2, which is the hotkey for just changing the name of something, I'm going to type in DOF, which just stands for depth of field. You can call it whatever you want, doesn't matter. And then with my camera selected, I can go focus object, and then I can select that object there. Now this yellow line,
I
if you
see.
see that is your limit, which shows you the thing that is actually in focus. Speaking of which, the size of the camera is ginormous, so I'm dialing that back so that it's actually a reasonable size. Doesn't look like lines just randomly.
Okay, all right. Okay, I think I'm getting what he is saying. Okay. All right. I think I'm getting what he is saying. All right. So let's see here. So, with the camera, let's try this again. With the camera selected, I'm going to try that again. Yep, and we're going to. And what was it? Was it the focal length that he changed?
And this, I can then, if I hit F2, which
all
is
right,
the hotkey for
we're getting
changing
there.
the name
We're
of
getting
something,
there, everybody.
I'm going to type in
We're slowly
DOF,
getting there.
which just stands for depth of field. You can call it whatever you want, doesn't matter. And then with my camera selected, I can go focus object, and then I can select that object there.
Perfect.
Now this yellow line there, if you see that is your limit, which shows you the thing that is actually in focus. Speaking of which, the size of the camera is ginormous, so I'm dialing that back so that it's actually a
okay, viewport display. Okay. All right. All right, we're going to dial that one back. Let's dial all these cameras back. And so they're not ginormous, like he said. There we go. All right, going back to the Blender 101 cam. There we go. Oh, how many cameras do you have in your scene? I have 3 of them. 2 of them are for personal. One of them is for the actual lesson. So the one that is right now, and hey, Necro. So right now, the one that is, so these are both personal ones that we don't need to see. This is the one for the lesson. It's going. That's the best way I can say that it's going. And right now, since I'm gonna save my work so far. We've already had it blow up once, so so it's going. It's getting there. So let's keep going.
Both sides doesn't look like lines just randomly going everywhere. Also, the depth of field, I'm going to make this a sphere and change the size of that. And now I know that whatever really...
Wait. Oh, okay. All right, depth of field. We're going to change it to a sphere. Oh, shoot. Okay. S. Oh, S. There we go.
Really is inside this sphere is going to be the thing that's in focus. So now, wherever I move this to, that's what's going to be the focal point.
Got it.
So
okay.
I'm going to move that
Good
right
to know.
there. Right where the icing is.
Oh, wait. Okay. All right.
Sorry, right where the sprinkles, the closest sprinkles to the camera, basically.
All right. So.
Cool. All right. Let's have a look at that. Yay. So, looks nice. Now, a couple of other things we're going to change. One is this icing. I've noticed that the subsurface scattering settings that I used made it look like the icing is actually much deeper than it is. It looks like it's really like a thick glob of icing, and you've got light that's like diffusing right through the middle of it, like it's like a candle or something. Whereas really, it's really thin, so it shouldn't have that much subsurf. So I'm going to dial down the radius amounts here. So just holding, just clicking and then dragging down to select all 3 of those radiuses there, and I'm going to hit 0.1, and then the subsurface amount, I'm going to leave that at 0.2, and let's see how that looks. All right, pretty good.
Okay, hold, sir. I'm gonna need you to hold up for a second there. let's see here. Okay. First, let's see how this looks. So we're gonna render this, and let me go ahead and show render in here. Let's get in here. Let me show the render. Let's see. Let's render. Come on, render. Render. Darkborne lens. Render. Where is the blender render? Ah, there we go. There we go. And we're going to transition that in. Alright, so here we go. It is rendering. Let's take a look let's see how that looks. Oh, also, he had us reshape the glass, and the bottom of the glass, it made me so scared, but I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. We added a little bit of fogging to the where the condensation was, and yeah. So now we're doing depth of field. I think it's a little frosted. I don't know. I might have to add a little more to the condensation. As far as the droplets, we might have to make them a little bigger. I don't know. We'll see when it renders. Let's see, how does this look? It's funny, his camera and my camera are looking at this space completely different. And I don't understand why it is. Oh, what's HDRI? Are you talking about the table? Oh, the cafe sign. That is my sign, actually. That's that Barra Boys Cafe. That's a normal with a node. And I made it a little metallic. But yeah, that's a normal. We used a normal and then used a node to paint it over with the image. HDRI is but no, the sign is not an HDRI. Oh, my scene is looking very... Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Necro, very, very much. I really do. When I was doing... what I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that going into this, that it would look like a scene from Barra Boys Cafe and not just a standard replication, rinse and repeat of of what he did. So yeah, so all right, so we're good. So we did that. All right. So now let's go back here. We're just a little bit back, and let's see what he's talking about now.
The sprinkles, the closest sprinkles to the camera, basically.
All right.
Cool. All right, let's have a look at that. Yay. Yep. So, looks nice. Now, a couple of other things we're going to change. One is this icing. I've noticed that the subsurface scattering settings that I used made it look like the icing is actually much deeper than it is. It looks like it's really like a thick glob of icing.
Oh my gosh.
And you've got light that's like diffusing right through the middle of it, like it's like a candle or something. Whereas really, it's really thin, so it shouldn't have that much subsurf. So I'm going to dial down the radius amounts here. So just holding, just clicking and then dragging down to select all three of those radiuses there. And I'm going to hit 0.1.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Sir, you're going a little too fast. Okay.
Like it's like a candle or something.
All right.
Whereas really, it's really thin, so it shouldn't have that much subsurf.
All right,
so I'm going to dial down the radius amounts here. So just holding,
the radius amounts.
Clicking and then dragging down to select all three of those radiuses there. And I'm going to hit 0.1. And then the subsurface amount, I'm going to leave that at 0.2. Let's see how that looks. All right, pretty good. So
And
the other final change that I'm gonna make is to the
point
donut
two.
material. Now I know we spent a full video, I mean a couple of videos.
Oh yeah, no, we're not going there just yet, sir. Sir, we are not doing that. You are not making me change the fucking donut. Ugh, pain. Ugh. Your next donut project should be a voodoo donut. I mean, if you look at the size of the coffee versus the size of the donut, I mean, yeah, I kept it pretty big. There we go. All right, now let's see this. Let's see this render. All right, let's. Goodness. All right. I don't know why I did that. All right, let's see here. Blender. What's going on with Blender? It should have been there like that. And, yeah, there. Alright. That's what it should have been like. And, yeah, let's, see here. Blender render. Let's see here, what's it doing? Alright, okay. Well. There we go. Now, oh. There we go. Alright. Oh, goodness. Alright, now, Blender. You know, at this point, I'm fine with getting it up to, yeah, there we go. We are done editing this. Like this. Alright, let's see here. Let's see how this looks. Alright, so here, for camera looking like him, make sure it's the same focal length. Default is 50 mil. Well, what I did was the positioning is what I'm talking about. That the position where the way it's angled, it's not angled like his. But you know what? I'm not mad because I actually like the angle that mine is in because the angle that mine is in shows the Barra Boys Cafe beautifully in the background. And that's kind of what I wanted. So it's fine that it's not the same hover and angle as his. It's fine. It was just kind of like I noticed that it was not. It was just a little different. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. All right. I think I need to fix the droplets. That's gonna bother me. Let's see here. We're going to hide the Blender render and close that out. Alright, and alright now. Alright, there we go. Come on. Why is it so weird? Alright, now we're gonna see here. We're gonna fix the we're gonna go into condensation. We're gonna go into we're going into the shading. And I still don't know how I got that there, so that's driving me crazy. Let's see here. Oh, goodness. I don't know how to get rid of that, but I think we gotta raise the see, I think it's the strength, yeah. Oh, shift. And yeah. See, I don't know how I got this little box, but I want to get rid of it. I really want to get rid of that box. It's driving me nuts. Hey, Necro, do you know how to get rid of this? I'm trying to get rid of this, and I don't know how. That render only this box. I think it was Control B. Or Control B. Oh, goodness. Nope. Control B. Oh, goodness. Control B. Goodness. And shift. Oh, Control Alt B. Thank you. Control Alt B. Thank you. Thank you. All right. See, that was starting to drive me crazy. All right, let's see here. Thank you so much. Oh man. All right, I think we fixed. Oh no. That looks pitted. Let's see here. 0.02. No, I think we barely see that. Point 0.032. Let me see here. Let's say 0.09, I think. 0.09. Yeah, I think that is that. There we go. I think that's for some reason it just looks a little globby. 0.065. Hey Roku, hey, welcome to the party. Right now we're playing around with the condensation a little bit. I'm not happy with how it's looking, so we're doing 0.034. All right, let's see here. And oh, I forgot. You know what? I forgot to do something here. I'm so used to having a. I'm going to do a caster command for Shinjuku V, Shujin. Let's see what he was doing today. Shujin Kovi. Let's see, what was he playing? Oh, they were doing a podcast today. Oh, that's fantastic. And so he rated us with 11 people, and for all of you that came with Yomi, thank you so much. I appreciate your support and you staying here. And as you're like putting up with my condensation with my condensation craziness right now. I think that looks better. Let's see here. I'm just kind of curious. I'm just gonna render it for myself and see. And alright. Let's see here, and we're gonna. Alright, and we're gonna transition that over. Let's see. So yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Oh, this one's not the. We're not doing the T on. Oh, what kind of tea do I like? My favorite, my go-to tea, is definitely it's jasmine, dragon pearl tea, and lavender dreams blend that I get from a tea shop that I order from online. I used to be able to get it at Tivana, but oh, I know it sounds very fancy, but it's very yummy. It is a green-white blend tea, and yeah. All right, let's see how this turned out. Let's see how this turned out. All right, let's see here. Yeah, but it does kind of sound fancy. I get. Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to look better now that I changed the condensation. It is definitely starting to look better. Let's see here. We did roughen up the glass where the condensation was, so we add a roughness to it. Maybe if I lower the roughness to a point one, maybe that might change it for me. Maybe it'll have that fogginess, but not be like too foggy, where some people like it. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's see here. Alright, and we're gonna click out there because this is driving me nuts. Alright. Alright, let's see here. I think a 1.5 for this. 0.15. There we go. Now it should look better. Let's see here. F12. Let's restart this Roomba render because I changed the roughness just a little bit. Well, the roughness I had it at 0.2, like he recommended, to give it that fogginess from the steam, and I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. I kind of want that. Let's see here. And I just want to make sure that before we continue with the tutorial, that I am happy with the way it looks in this respect, because he's going to continue to drive me crazy. Let's see here with his change this and then add this and yeah. Let's see here. Is it okay if I draw? Yeah, you can definitely do that. That would be fine. That would be fine. I would appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see here. Just send me a DM on Discord, and then I will send you the. I'll send you his the ref sheet for the entire Darkborne. So you have the entire model, front, back, sideways. So that way you can have the full ref of him. Because I actually made a ref sheet with this model. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right. We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. Okay. Oh no, we lost some protagonists. I guess they got a little impatient. Okay, no problem. But yeah, and it's fine. I totally understand it. This is watching someone doing a 3D model isn't always the fun. It's like it's fun, but then it's like usually, yeah, they saved and excited. Yeah, there you go. They can always watch the replay when it's done. Let's see here. Oh, it's getting there. I think we found the right amount of roughness to get the type of steam and condensation that I wanted. But I won't know till it's done. Again, the render Roomba doing its thing. All right, let's zoom in on this. Yeah, that actually looks good, and I know it's also faded because of the focus is here. The focus is here, and we already have a already bit of fading from the rest. But I'm not seeing any condensation really on the cup for some reason. It's like you don't see. I don't see any droplets. I think I might have to change the droplet size. Oh goodness! All right. All right. Let's hide that. And let's go there. And now let's go back into the shading. There we go. Now we're gonna shift and slowly bring up the particles. If it would listen to me at any point in time soon. Let's see here. Let's see here. 0.94. Let's see here. 0.54. Need to get it just enough wet. I think we are there at this. All right, now let's see. Let's render Roomba. Do your thing. All right, now, come on now. Yeah, I'm. It's yeah, it's yeah. GTO, great teacher. Because and oh my god, it's so problem. I don't know which one you're talking about. To be, I'm a little, yeah. And there we go. Honestly, I don't know what that GTO is. GTO is an anime. Okay, gotcha. All right, and it's an anime about a guy that becomes a teacher, and it's from like the 90s. Oh yeah. Oh, the anime is in the 90s. Was made in the 90s. Yeah, a lot of the older animes are very, very problematic. All right. Let's see here. I just want to make sure that the roughness and that you can still see some of the droplets in there, because I worked really hard to get droplets in, and for the steam to be like, nope, there are no droplets here. What former gang member becomes a teacher to sleep with high school? Oh, ooh, yeah, no, that is highly, highly problematic. Yeah, that's a no. Yeah, that's definitely a nope. Nope. Yeah, there are a lot of animes that are very problematic. Let's see here. All right. We're almost there. We're getting there, and then we're gonna head back into hello, my protagonists. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's have a seat and then let's enjoy our coffee date. You're just in time to see one of the renders that we're trying to get condensation that's already been blurred out a little bit for depth perception. Let's see here. Let's see how it renders out for now, and then we'll be able to continue on with our Blender 101 tutorial and get to the finalization of these steps. I know it's see, can I has a chai latte? Of course you can. Unfortunately, our barista isn't here, so I will gladly make you one myself. And actually, that looks a lot. That actually looks a lot better. You can now see a little bit of the droplets in the frosted in the frosted area. That looks a lot better. Okay, all right. Now we're gonna hide that, and we're gonna. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and hide that. We're gonna get rid of that, and we are going to go back, and we're gonna save what we did, and go back to the lesson because now here we go.
Painting the thing, putting in these settings here. These are the ones that we ended up with. But I noticed, after taking a break, and I'm in Tokyo, and I'm like scrolling through Twitter, and I'm like seeing the results that people have been sharing with me, and I'm like, that looks not like a donut, looks more like a scone, as we call it in Australia, or in America, a biscuit, right? Like it looks like a little too uncooked to look like a donut. So I was basing it off of the reference photos that I found, which are kind of like almost like a bread kind of look, where it has like this really white patch through the middle.
Yeah.
But for most references, for most donuts, it looks a little bit more cooked. It looks very saturated, very dark. So the values really are a lot darker than what we have. That was just kind of like my overall takeaway from it. So one big thing I'm going to change is just adding an RGB curves node, color RGB curves, and dropping that right in here. And then I'm going to take this middle point, and this is just going to crush the sort of the midtones, and it's just going to bring it down like that. Now, looks closer to the value that I'm looking for, but it also looks too red. So before that, I'm going to add in another node, and that's a...
Oh, okay. All right. So let's rewind.
Other final change that I'm going to make is to the donut material. Now, I know we spent a full video...
Oh, I know, but we're getting through it.
Putting in these settings here. These are the ones that we ended up with. But I noticed, after taking a break, and, I'm in Tokyo, and I'm like scrolling through Twitter, and I'm like seeing the results that people have been sharing with me, and I'm like, that looks not like a donut, looks more like a scone, as we call it in Australia, or in America, a biscuit, right? Like it looks like a little too uncooked to look like a donut. So I was basing it off of the reference photos that I found, which are kind of like almost like a bread kind of look, where it has like this really white patch through the middle. But so for most references, for most donuts, it looks a little bit more cooked. It looks very saturated, very dark. So the values really are a lot darker than what we have. That was just kind of like my overall takeaway from it. So one big thing I'm going to change is just adding an RGB curves node, color RGB curves, and dropping that right in here. And then I'm going to take this middle point, and this is just going to crush.
Wait, what? Where did he get that at?
Really are a lot darker than what we have. That was just kind of like my overall takeaway from it. So one big thing I'm going to change is just adding an RGB.
Okay, color and RGB curves. Okay, add color and the RGB curves. All right, and let's see here. Oh, goodness. We're going to bring that down here. Oh, hey, Abdi. Yeah, add color RGB curve. Yeah.
RGB curves node, color, RGB curves, and dropping that right in here. And then I'm going to take this middle point, and this is just going to crush the sort of the midtones, and it's just going to bring it down like that. Now, looks closer to the value that I'm looking for, but it also looks too red. So before that, I'm going to add in another node, and that's a Q saturation node. By the way, this is the painted material, just in case you've forgotten. This is a painted.
Okay. All right. Now we're gonna. All right, and we're gonna go back into color and hue saturation. There we go. All right.
Texture, so we're sort of like tweaking the color that we've got on it. Hue, if I change this, 0.5 is the default hue, but if I set this to a like slightly higher than 0.5, like a 0.520, it's going to make it more yellowy. If I go the other way, 0.548, it's going to make it more red. So I want to go 0.53, let's say 0.53, and that just makes it look a little bit closer to the hue that we're wanting. I mean, yours might be different, by the way. Like the exact color picker that I chose when I was choosing my paintbrush just looks a little bit too red when you crush the crush the values a little bit. So that's why I'm doing that. Now the other thing I want to do is over here. The noise that we have here, I think that noise is a little bit too small, so I'm going to increase that to 1000. And then also, I wanted to make
wait, hold on. Whoa, sir, you're going too fast. You're going.
Before that, I'm going to
add
another node, and that's a Q saturation node. By the way, this is the painted material, just in case you've forgotten. This is a painted texture, so we're sort of like tweaking the color that we've got on it.
Yeah.
Hue, if I change this, 0.5 is the default hue, but if I set this to a like slightly higher than 0.5, like a 0.520, it's going to make it more yellowy. If I go the other way, 0.548, it's going to make it more red. So I want to go 0.53, let's say 0.53, and that just makes it look a little bit closer to the hue that we're wanting. I mean, yours might be different, by the way. Like the exact color picker that I chose when I was choosing my paintbrush just looks a little bit too red when you crush the crush the values a little bit. So that's why I'm doing that. Now the other thing I want to do is over here. The noise that we have here, I think that noise is a little bit too small, so I'm going to increase that to 1000. And then also, I wanted to make it look like a little bit more glazed, kind of like, I don't know, just looking at reference photos of like up close, like I've seen way too many donuts. If you look at it, it's kind of like it's basically if we turn up this distortion amount here to like a 0.1.
Okay, his noise texture here is noise texture here is so 1000. All right, and the detail is at 2, and the roughness, the distortion is at 1. All right.
1. That looks kind of a little closer to the kind of randomized, like thinning, like bits that are kind of like sticking up like that in a way. So I'm just setting that to a 1. And then the other thing, these big bits, this was something that some people actually said, they're like, mine looks like it has a disease now, and also mine, like Andrew's, you made your donut look like it has a disease. And I agree, it does look a little bit too pimply. So let's change this to be a little bit bigger in size, so 100 instead of 200, and then the detail, if we turn that up, that's gonna look more like like detailed noise instead of like big rounded shapes. So turning that up to that, it's going through this, which is giving it that look. Then it's going through this, which is giving it this like speckledy look. Then I just want to increase that. I'm just going to make like this speckledy look, like really apply to it.
Oh wait,
and then that's going to go through our displacement, which I want to increase more. So from 0.002 to 0.003. So just like a 50% increase, and that'll like really like push these outer bits and really make it look like yeah, like bits that are sticking out, like kind of like a crispy looking donut.
Yeah.
And in fact, if we add this to a roughness, if we turn down the roughness amount to like a 0.2 or 3, it looks like a shiny glazed, like freshly out of the oven,
All right, so we
that kind of donut.
point
Which I
0.03.
kinda like.
Okay. All right. We're gonna change the roughness. Let's see here. Oop, going in the background. Going back. All right. Roughness is changing the roughness to 0.3. Okay. 0.3. All right. That looks interesting. Oh, well, how about you don't do that on my channel? Let's see here. Let's go. Hold on. Give me a moment, everyone. First off, that we're gonna. How do I unban? Oh, ban permanently, and yeah, and we're gonna purge that. Purge. Okay, all right. Let's see here. Let's go there. All right, there we go. And gone. Don't come in here promoting that bullshit. Don't come here promoting that bullshit. All right, here we go. All right. And roughness is 3. And let's save what we did.
I think that looks a lot better. And that's probably what we will go with. I'll display this and any other further changes on the screen right now. So if you want to change your values, you can. But change it. If things look a little odd to you, if things look too red, like perhaps mine does right now, then play around with things. Maybe I'll set this to a multiply amount instead of an overlay, and that'll have like a different kind of look to it, and maybe make it a little.
All right, so we're gonna. Actually, this is towards the end of the lesson. Okay.
A little bit darker or something like that.
All right, let's let him finish here for a second here.
So you can see like little changes, tiny changes will all have an impact. But I don't want to spend too long on this because then it's just like you end up with like an hour-long tutorial. Just like
okay, that's point. Because the Y is. I want to try putting it at the same. So it was 0.20909. 20909 and that was 0.67065. 0.67065. Interesting. Let's render this. I don't know how I feel about what he did to this donut. I don't know how I feel about what he did to the donut. We'll see, everyone. We'll see. Let's take a look to see if we like what he was suggesting we do to the donut. I for some reason it just seems a little dark. I might go a little lighter than he did. And I might raise it on the curved again. And kind of see what, kind of change it a little. I don't want the donut to be so dark. Yeah, I first want to try his setting and just see, but for some reason for me that doesn't read. It just reads burnt to me. I don't know why. For me it's like, I don't think he understands that there are different kinds of dough for donuts, that it's not all the same. So, yeah, and also different companies make them differently. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I do agree with him. It did look a little undercooked. I will give him that it did kind of look a little undercooked. But I think it might look good now. If not, I just gotta see it with the lighting and everything, and see how it pans out. And yeah, Roku, there is a loose spronk on the plate. All right, let's see here. Everyone, keep your fingers crossed. Let's hope this panned out. Oh man. And we ooh, yeah, I do not like how that I guess I have to wait until it's done rendering, but I think that looks a little unfortunate to me. That looks a little too brown. Like it was overcooked. I might have to make it a little lighter. No, I want to wait until it finishes rendering. It's done. Okay, it is done rendering. Okay, that it yeah, it's a little darker than I kind of wanted it to be. Let's yeah, let's change that. That's a little overcooked. We're gonna move this up a little bit. Actually, all right, let's see here. Let's see how it looks. How that looks. You know what? Let's render that. All right, let's see here. Why is it not rendering? All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. Maybe this will look better. Well, I kind of wanted to see how it looked fully rendered. Um, oh man. Oh goodness. Let us hope that it's not screwed up. See, like this is the stuff. Well, he was saying, Necro, is that the way he does things is like, do all the pieces, then start refining everything. So that way you have everything kind of in place, and then you start making all the adjustments as you go. Which, I mean, it is scattershot, and it kind of drives me. See, this looks okay. That looks better. It is a lot lighter than it was before. So I think I'm gonna go with this one. Yeah, this looks a lot better. It doesn't look so burnt like the other one did. All right, let's see here. let's see here. How are we doing? How are we doing? All right. All right. Let's see here. All right. Actually, that actually looks good. I am actually happy with that. I am actually really happy. See, that does look much better. That does look much better. Look at that. That cake looks actually a lot better. It does look a little more cooked now. And it does have a little bit more bump to it. See here, and the coffee. There it is, the coffee. There we go. All right, now we're going to go ahead and close this out. We're going to go back to layout, and we're gonna go ahead and save everything we've done, and if you'll give me just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and close that out there. And everyone, if you will just give me a few minutes, I will be right back. I'm gonna get myself a little bit more tea, and maybe we'll be able to finish up the last part. But before I do that, let's continue on and finish this video in itself. So let's see.
Tweaking individual things and back and forth.
Yeah, let's just let them talk to the end.
This is already over 20 minutes. So thank you for watching this part. This is the visual final look for the visuals of our donut. In the next part, we're actually going to be animating it. Then we're going to be rendering it into frames and creating that final video file, and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, and when the next video is available, click there, and we'll see you in it.
All right, so, okay. I guess this is it. Hold on. Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is, right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost at the end. How about that?
All right, and before we get to this last part, which is 14 minutes, we have time. I will be right back. I'm going to take a quick break, and I will see you very shortly. And I'm back. Hello, my wonderful protagonists. Shall we go back to our coffee date? Let's go back to our coffee date. I think we're ready to go back and continue on with the next one. Now, I will be, actually, with this video, I will be going until the video is done. We might go into the last lesson. I don't know, we'll see how I feel, but we might go a little bit extra over my normal time. So I don't know if you're excited to kind of go down that rabbit hole with me. But I'm kind of excited to see how to make this look as good as it tastes. I mean, make this taste as good as it looks. Yeah, anyway, so let's go ahead and go back into our coffee date. All right, so here we go. Let's continue on.
The still look of our donut is pretty much done. What we're going to do in this part is just add an animation, do some keyframing, and have some movement. Why? Well, it's an excuse to learn about the animation part of 3D animation, right? Because a lot of people will just want to make stills, but a large number of you will also want to add some sort of animation. So I want to include this because it is such an important part, right? So anyway, we're just going to have the most basics of the basic animation, and that is simply the plate sliding in from the left-hand side and stopping. Very simple, short, and sweet, and it's an excuse to learn about keyframing and animation.
All right, here we go.
How do we do it? Well, we have along the bottom here, we have our timeline, which is 250 frames set to default. By the way, you can define exactly how many frames will be rendered in your animation by these amounts here, start and end frame. For those of you who aren't familiar with time codes and how that relates to animation, for 1 second of animation, that is defined by your frame rate over here. So if you go to your, whatever that is, the output properties, you've got frame rate, so 24 frames per second. That means that 1 second of recorded, what is played back to the viewer is 24 frames. Now, 24 frames is what's the typical movie, cinema frame rate.
Okay.
It is the lowest possible frame rate you can get to before things start to feel a little stuttery and juddery and a little fatiguing of the eyes. I technically don't really like 24 because, especially for quick animations, things look stuttery, right? So I actually prefer to go 29.97. Why?
Man,
I mean, I don't know. It's more familiar with TV shows. That's usually the frame rate, or just aired television typically. And there's this growing debate and movement. Things are moving more towards 60 frames per second. By the way, this whole tutorial series has been 60 frames per second, which is why you can see my hand movement so smoothly, right? I hope you can. Hope somebody noticed, right? Double the data being uploaded to YouTube. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to set mine to 29.97 frames per second. Yeah. And I want my donut to slide in 1 second. That's what I'm going off of, right? So this is the end point where I want my donut to land and sit, which means that I want to set my timeline point here to frame 30, okay? And then I want to create a keyframe here because this is the final point that I want my donut to sit. So we're going to do the keyframe on the plate because the plate has everything. And just move it to make sure that there isn't anything left behind, any sprinkles or anything. Everything should be parented to your plate. So once it's parented, we can now, on frame 30, select our plate and then hit I. So I will enable you to add a keyframe. And you get a whole list here of asking you what sort of keyframe do you want to create. It looks confusing, right? Because it's I just create a keyframe. But you could create it for the rotation only, the scale only, or all these other ones, delta, visual. I've never used any of those before in my life. What we're going to use is lock rot, which is actually location and rotation both, right?
Okay.
Which is very common. So that's the one that I'm going to go with, lock rot. Okay, and when you do that, you'll see down here in your timeline, you get these little diamonds appear, right? And if you pulled this thing out here, you would see exactly what those diamonds relate to. But it's your X location, your Y location, your X, it's the 3 axes for both location and rotation. Okay, so then we're going to move back to frame number 1, all the way to the start, and then I'm going to move my plate where I want it to start. Okay, so just off frame, and then because, hey, we're going to shake it up a little bit, let's make it slide in like diagonally. So I'm going to move it up along the x-axis as well. So it's just going to slide in like towards the camera as well. So move it a little bit.
All right, sir, you're me. All right, so we're gonna make it move from there. Okay, all right, now. All right. All right, from here. All right, let's see here. Oh, and thank you, Necro, and thank you, Abdi. All right, let's...
Further out of frame, and then I'm going to hit I, location, rotation. Now, if I hit spacebar, and I'll probably need to go into solid view mode.
Oh, wait, hold on. And I, and location and rotation.
To see it, you'll get this. Ta-da! And yeah, I just noticed we didn't do any rotation, so I want it to rotate in at the same time, like a little bit of a sliding motion. So I'm gonna on frame number 1, hit R and then Z, so it's just rotating on the Z axis, and let's go for like minus 90, or I don't know, just to see how that looks. Then hit I, lock, rot, and then play that back, and you should see that it's now sliding in. Yay!
All right, hold on.
Awesome. And that's it. No, there's more to it.
Okay, all right, now we're gonna... All right, and then he said... Wait, what did he do? Oh, wait, Oh, wait, he did R and then Z. Okay. R, Z. So... there. And then I, location and rotation. Right now. Oh, wow. Okay. That is actually kind of cool. Yeah. That is actually kind of cool. Not gonna lie. Okay, alright. Yeah, we're into animation now. We're in the keyframes right now. Alright, so let's keep going here.
Rotation. Now, if I hit spacebar, and I'll probably need to go into solid view mode to see it, you'll get this. Ta-da! And yeah, I just noticed we didn't do any rotation, so I want it to rotate in at the same time, like a little bit of a sliding motion. So I'm gonna on frame number 1, hit R and then Z, so it's just rotating on the Z axis, and let's go for like minus 90, or I don't know, just to see how that looks. Then hit I, lock, rot, and then play that back, and you should see that it's now sliding in. Yay! Awesome. And that's it. No, there's more to it. So one thing you'll note is that it just feels awkward, right? Like something's not right. The movement feels very fake. And the reason for that is that it's sliding out of frame, and we want it to feel as though it's already got movement and momentum, and then it's sliding in and it's stopping. Whereas right now, it's starting slow, speeding up, and then slowing down again, right? So that is because if you go to your animation tab up there, and then by default yours will actually be set to dope sheet. So this is the default dope sheet, and what we're going to do is change this to graph editor, and this will show you the actual the keyframes, but also their movement, so you can see it's slow, speeding up, and then slowing down again. Okay.
Wait.
Now it's got all your keyframes here, so you should have like 6 separate channels
Graph
for
editor.
keyframes.
I don't see graph
it's all rather
editor.
confusing. So click the normalize, by the way, and then that will.
I don't
because you're
see.
dealing with
Oh,
location
wait.
and rotation. It doesn't know how to combine like location values with rotation values. It's kind of like what's the unit system you go off to put that all on one chart. So normalize will just make things easier and just put it all in like one.
All right.
area
Wait.
easier to
Hold
read.
on.
Set to dope sheet. So this is the default dope sheet. And what we're going to do is change this to graph editor. And this will show you the actual, the keyframes, but also their movement. So you can see it's slow, speeding up, and then slowing down again, okay? Now it's got all your keyframes. So you should have like 6 separate channels for keyframes.
I don't.
And it's all rather confusing. So click the normalize, by the way, and then that will, because you're dealing with location and rotation, it doesn't know how to combine like location values with rotation values. It's kind of like what's the unit system you go off to put that all on one chart. So normalize will just make things easier and just put it all in like one area and easier to read.
There we go.
Anyway, so what I want to do is with these starting frames here, all these, I want to make it not have that smoothed off effect. I want to make it have like a harsh start. So if I select all these, which I can do by hitting B, or just dragging over it. Yeah, you don't need to hit B anymore. You can just drag over it, like so. And then we're going to hit V. V on our keyboard. V for vector. Let's go that. V, and then we're going to change the keyframe type to vector. And there we go. And now you can see, if we play it back, it's no longer like speeding. It's no longer starting slow, speeding up, and then, you know, it's starting fast. So it appears as though...
All right, so... Alright, so how did he do that? Okay.
Smoothed off effect. I want to make it have like a harsh start. So if I select all these, which I can do by hitting B, or just dragging over it. Yeah, you don't need to hit B anymore. You can just drag over it, like so. And then we're going to hit V. V on our keyboard. V for vector. Let's go that. V, and then we're going to change the keyframe type to vector. And there we go. And now you can see, if we play it back, it's no longer like speeding. It's no longer starting slow, speeding up, and then, you know, it's starting fast. So it appears as though it's already had momentum off camera, and now it's sliding in and it's stopping. And that's great. That's exactly what we want. And that's really all there is to it. So if we were to do this animation, by the way, you can see that if you just leave...
All right, yeah. Yeah, now it definitely has some momentum. All right.
Leave it playing, it's just playing and it's stopped. So we want our we want our animation to stop at frame 30. So frame 30, sorry, I should explain that. The start and end frame, I'm setting the end frame to frame 30. So now that we've done that, you can see it's now repeating that animation. Now that's important not only for just playback here, but it means when we actually render it, you're not going to have 100 extra frames rendered at the end there where the donuts, everything is sitting perfectly still. And that's basically, that's roughly it. Now you can play around with like timing. Like for example, you could have your rotation, like this one here. You could make the rotation stop earlier. So like the last few frames, like it's sliding in, and then the last few frames it's like stopped rotating. I don't know if you want that, or maybe you'd even want it to go the other way, like an extra bit of rotation at the end there. In fact, that does actually look kind of cool, so I might do that. Yeah, let's just do move everything back one frame and have the rotation end like one frame after. Could be kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. The other thing is I think my rotation start, I'm not seeing a lot of rotation as it flies in there, so I'm going to set this to go the minus direction even more, and then I'll apply lock rot there, lock rot, and now it's sliding in. Now it appears as though it's spinning in at a little bit more direction. So it starts at, I guess you wouldn't see it unless it was normalized. Let's hide those. Let's see the rotation. Okay, so it's starting at about minus 50 degrees along the z-axis, and then it's spinning around and it's going back to 0 degrees. So it's a full 150 degrees of rotation for my animation. But there you go. Oh, by the way, home key will like center and put everything like right in the view there. Home key will just center that for you. So that's a nice one to remember. So the plate's done, and it's fine. If you wanted to, you could add other movement to your scene. You might notice, like, you might be wondering why we're not changing or adding any animation to our coffee cup. One big reason, it's got liquid in it. So if we had that, I'd love to have the coffee cup sliding in as well, but then we'd have to like rig this liquid so that it like does this motion as it like settles. And you know, this is probably like a 20-part series already, and people are going to look back on my channel.
Okay, hold on.
Donut flies in there, so I'm going to set this to go the minus direction. I guess you wouldn't see it unless it was normalized. Let's hide those. Let's see the rotation.
Wait. He started going hold on. He started going way ahead of me.
And that's roughly it. Now you can play around with like timing. Like,
All
for
right.
example, you could have your rotation, like this one here. You could make the rotation stop earlier. So like the last few frames, like it's sliding in, and then the last few frames it's like stopped rotating. I don't know if you want that, or maybe you'd even want it to go the other way, like an extra bit of rotation at the end there. In fact, that does actually look kind of cool, so I might do that. Yeah, let's just do move everything back one frame and have the rotation end like one frame after. It'll be kind of cool.
All right.
Yeah, I like that. The other thing is I think my rotation start, I'm not seeing a lot of rotation as it flies in there, so I'm going to set this to go the minus direction even more, and then I'll apply lock rot there, lock rot, and now it's sliding in. Now it appears as though it's spinning in it a little bit more direction, so it starts.
All right, so doing here. Let's see here. R, Z. And then I, lock rotation. Oh, shoot. I need to put that back at 1. And yeah, and all right, now we're gonna do RZ and move it just a little more. Alright. I. Yeah. Alright, let's see here.
At, I guess you wouldn't see it unless it was normalized. Let's hide those. Let's see the rotation. Okay, so it's starting at about minus 50 degrees along the z-axis, and then it's spinning around and it's going back to 0 degrees. So it's a full 150 degrees of rotation for my animation. But there you go. Oh, by the way, home key will like center and put everything like right in the view there. Home key will just center that for you. So that's a nice one to remember. So the plate's done, and it's fine. If you wanted to, you could add other movement to your scene. You might notice, like, you might be wondering why we're not changing or adding any animation to our coffee cup. One big reason, it's got liquid in it. So if we had that, I'd love to have the coffee cup sliding in as well, but then we'd have to like rig this liquid so that it like does
Slosh,
this motion
yeah,
as it, like,
and I don't want to
like
learn the
settles.
sloshing yet.
And you know, this is probably like a 20-part series already, and
Yeah.
people are going to look back on my channel and they're going to go, wow, a donut tutorial. Wow,
my
it's 20
goodness.
parts. Why? So I don't want to stretch this.
They're
even
actually
longer to be, like,
already
30
saying
parts
that,
just
so
because we've rigged some liquid,
Yeah.
which is like highly unnecessary. So we're not going to do that. You're welcome to it. I'd love to see somebody try. That'd be kind of cool. But I'm not going to bother touching the coffee cup. It's just going to sit there. But one little small thing we can do, just to add a little bit of movement to it, is the focal point. So you'll remember that we set the focal point
Yeah.
for our donut, and that's defined by this empty here, this,
Yeah.
This circle, which is called DOF. Right, this is the layout. It's
Yeah.
called DOF. Well, the donut starts off camera, so we could
Yeah.
have a little story, a little goofy little story. I don't know.
Yeah.
We could have the depth of field, like the cameraman was focusing on that coffee cup, and then the plate slid in there, and he's like, whoa, 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 something off camera, sliding in, watch this, and then he changes the focal point to be on the donut. So let's do that. Why not?
Okay.
So I've got the DOF empty here selected, and I'm going to hit I, because this is the final frame. So this is where we want the depth of field to end.
Yeah.
Right? This is where we
Yeah.
want it to focusing on the donut.
Yeah.
So at frame 30, DOF selected, I'm going to hit I, and we're just going to select location, not rotation, because it doesn't matter. So location. And then we need to move it to the coffee cup, but we need to decide like which frame, because like if you move something like this, but you don't have the right frame set, and then you go, oh, what frame do I want it? Too late, because you didn't set a keyframe. It's now moved its position back to its old location. So anyway, you want to decide like which frame do you want to have the DOF, like when do you want the cameraman to notice the thing sliding in out of left frame and start to change the movement from the coffee cup towards here. And I think it's about here, right? Like you start noticing some movement about frame 12. So frame 12, I'm going to move this G along the red axis, which is X, all the way to the back there. And then I'm just going to move it so that it's basically on the coffee cup, right there. Okay. And then I'm going to hit I and location again. And now when we do that, you can see that object is flying in there.
All right.
So let's see how that looks actually. Let's
Wait.
And there you go. So you can see it's crystal clear in focus before it, and then when it moves forward, the cup falls out of focus, and it's now fallen on the donut. By the way, you might notice at some point during this rotation and like animation thing, your sprinkles have started to become a little porcupiney. Can't help you there. The particle systems in Blender are a little weird. If you just select the icing and double tab, it'll go into edit mode and then back into object mode, and it'll correct itself. But I don't know. The particle systems are being revamped in Blender right now. Like both two things, Mantaflow. Actually, that might not even be particles. And then particle node. So two big changes are happening, which basically means no fixes are being done for things like this, right? Like, so it's just a bug, and it's an annoying bug. But I think provided like the last frame is where the sprinkles should be, then nobody should notice that it starts off with the sprinkles a little bit haywire. I hope when we do the animation we'll find out. But there you go. Speaking of which, by the way, before we move to the next video, if you don't like the look of your sprinkles, if you see too much intersection, because this is another like final little touch, if you see too much intersection, which I do here, of the sprinkles, just change the seeds until you find one which doesn't look as bad. So find a seed that you like, cycle through it. Yours will be totally different to mine. So it's completely random. That looks, there's a bit of intersection there. You know, this is, one of those things, right? Why doesn't Blender have a particle system which will detect intersection? It will soon, at some point, eventually, maybe, in the future. Maybe that's what particle nodes is going to include. Who knows? But I've been wanting a feature like that for years. It's not here yet. So we just have to do this for now. That might be as good as I can get it. No, I don't know. Actually, I did like 33, like the one that was straight after. That's okay to me. I'll go with that. We're going with that. All right, so animation's happening. Let's jump over into the next video where we're going to talk about...
All right, first off, let's decide on this. Let's see here. And let's decide where we want. You know what? I think this is good. Yeah, let's go here. Alright, let's say I wasn't in Blender when he made that tutorial. Oh, gotcha. Let's see here. You can use something called MantaFlow or fluid simulation. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of things. Hand size of the dope sheet, yeah. Alright, let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this video right here.
Render settings and render this bad boy out.
Yeah. Oh,
So
we're
click
gonna
there.
render
Next
that.
video.
Oh, nice. We're gonna render. We're there, everyone. We are there.
Time to talk about the wonderful world of rendering, where you hit a button on your keyboard and then you sit back and you wait days, weeks, sometimes months, sometimes for your hard work to materialize. Rendering, particularly rendering in animation, is quite painful for a lot of people. Because you'll see this was one single frame and it took 16 seconds to render, which by the way is incredibly fast, as you will find out yourself, I'm sure, if you haven't already.
All right.
16 seconds, but this is a 30 frame animation.
Yeah.
And if we were to get out a calculator, and let's say we wanted 10 seconds, just 10 seconds of animation.
Yeah.
At 30 frames, that's 300 frames, 16 seconds, which would take us 80 minutes to render.
Oh
just
my
10
goodness.
Seconds of animation, right?
Are you
so
serious?
You can see why, by the way, like a Pixar movie or any Disney, like fully animated movie that's an hour and a half long at least, at way more complexity, way more objects. You can see why they spend sometimes months rendering on render farms, which is just like rooms filled with servers and air blowing and just like souping through it.
Oh yeah, we're getting through this.
Visited
We're gonna
the
get
Pixar office and they got like the render farm. They got like this neon sign. It's like render farm, always open, 24/7. Like this, like looks like a pub, like 24/7.
That's cute.
I don't know.
That's
kind of cute. But anyways, so point is like rendering is it's painful for a lot of people, and every artist wants to reduce their render times whilst retaining quality to the highest amount. So in Blender, there are three things that really are like the cornerstones of what will contribute to your render time. The first one might sound obvious, but it needs to be said, is the dimensions, the size of the image that is being rendered. So we're rendering at 1080 by 1080, this square frame here. If we were to double the resolution, say set this from 100% to 200%, which you can do by the way, guess how much longer that would increase our render times? If we doubled the resolution, if you guessed it would double the render times, incorrect. The correct answer is it would actually quadruple the render times.
Yeah, I can figure that.
You are not only doubling the pixels this way, but also this way as well. So that is 4 times the number of pixels, which is why it's 4 times the amount. So that's a really important thing, and it took me. I remember like puzzling at that because like I would set like the render times to 50% to do like my previews, and then I would do like 100% for the final render.
How long is this
and
one?
then I was like, wait a minute, why is it taking 4 times?
This is 17 minutes, everyone. So we're going into overtime here. We're definitely going into overtime.
There's 2 axes of pixels. I'm like, oh yeah. Anyways, so that's one important point. If you want to go 4K, good luck to you. It's going to take a really,
don't want to do 4K.
Really I guess the other thing, if you're doing animations, another one to keep in mind is the number of frames. If you're rendering at a frame rate of 60 frames a second, guess what? You got to render double the number of frames. Which is why people. I think there was a latest, not a Peter Jackson film. What was the movie? It was rendered like 120 frames, I think. Insane. That's insane.
Oh,
and
goodness.
I'm sure
All
their
right.
render bill was through the roof. But anyways, so that's number one, resolution. The other one is your hardware. That might sound obvious, but it needs to be said as well. The reason this frame rendered at 16 seconds, which is very fast, is because I've got two 1080 Ti graphics cards.
And this was
they are
back in
rendering
2019.
for each one.
Yeah.
So that's why when I hit render, you'll see that I have two tiles that will appear, these two little squares. Right, it'll go tick, tick, tick. You can see there's actually two there. Is there two? It looks like, oh yeah, it's happening fast enough that it looks like one. But anyways, it's doing two because there are two graphics cards working at the same time. And if you're rendering on CPU, you would actually see probably like 16 of them, but they would be much slower. So hardware is very, very important. Yeah, some of you have been writing in the comments saying like, oh, mine's like 2 hours long. Yeah, I'll show you a couple of things we could do to maybe help with that, but it's going to be slow no matter what. And that's okay, but it's just going to be slow until you upgrade your hardware. It's just one of those things. How fast do you want it to be? Spend more money. So the final thing and the third thing that has like the biggest impact is, of course, these samples. So these samples is that grain that appears on an image. Now you can't see the grain because in the compositor, you'll remember we're using this denoise, this fancy denoise thing in 2.81. But the actual image looks like this. Very noisy, very very grainy, right? And then it's doing this denoising step over the top of it. And then it's like intelligently smoothing it out. But you'll see because the image started very grainy, it's actually got some artifacts in it, particularly on this coffee cup over here. It's got this like jaggedy kind of look to it, right? So yeah, basically the higher you set your sample count to, the more grain free and clearer it will appear, but the longer your render times will be. So yeah, we need to you need to account for that. So one thing that is important is if we look in render view mode, we're currently using something called path trace rendering with a flat 50 samples. And you'll see that
I'm using 184.
In fact, let's just go to the command mode. Let's go clear it. Not the denoise mode. So yeah, some parts actually look very clear, right? Like the table, the donut, like this donut icing.
It's probably
here
gonna take a
looks
while
really
for
clear.
me.
And then other parts, like the coffee cup itself, looks incredibly noisy. So if we were to apply, like if we just doubled the sample count, right, that would help. But we would be doubling the sample count in areas that look clear versus areas that look noisy. So this is a little,
didn't have AI
this isn't
tuners
really
that
that
you're
advanced,
currently
but it's
this
like
is
a
true,
step that a lot of beginners don't know about. And that is that you can change from path tracing to branched path tracing, which gives you more control over where you're putting those samples. So as well as these settings up here, you also get all these settings down here. So this diffuse, glossy, transmission, AO, mesh light, subsurf, volume, that applies to the number of samples that is going to each material attribute. So diffuse is the parts that already look clear, basically. The skin of this icing, the hard table there, it looks clear, and that's the diffuse part of it. The transmission part is anything which is, like glass or water. So that is our cup over there. So if we were to set this transmission amount to, instead of one, so to explain it, it's doing 30 samples. It was previously set to 50, but I've changed this to 30. It's doing 30 samples, and then this is kind of, think of this like a multiplier. So it's 30 samples on the diffuse, on the gloss, on this, and you can see actually the total count are written down here. If I set this transmission here to be 2, you can see that it's now got 30, 30, 30, 60 for the transmission, because it's 30 samples times 2 on the transmission, and that will clear up some of the it'll clear it up on the transmission. In fact, let me do a Control B. That enables you to draw a border when you're looking through the camera, so it just singles out that one section of the frame, so we can just have a look at that. And let's set the viewport to be 30 samples, so it's exactly the same as the renderer. So it looks better now. So this is how it looks before, right? 30 samples. So that's 30 samples. You can see how noisy that looks. And then let's double that, and it should look a little bit clearer. It might not look double clear, but it should look a little bit clearer. If we set this to 10, it's now doing 30 times 10, so 300 samples on the transmission. And you'll see it is taking longer, so of course
because it's more samples. It's going to take longer. You don't get you don't usually get free clearness for
So
nothing.
if you turn on
but
AI
it's looking better.
denoising,
And
you
then
can
with,
lower the count
let's
to get
add some to the
equal or
gloss
better
as well.
looks.
So this
Okay.
reflection that's coming off the side of the glass.
I
there,
believe
that's
I
the
have
gloss.
AI
So let's set
denoising.
that
Hold
to
on.
5. So 5 times on the gloss. 10
Okay, where is this AI denoising? I thought I had it on. Oh goodness, so where is it, Necro? Where's the AI denoising? So if you turn on AI denoising, you can lower the count to get equal or better looks. Sampling, denoising. Sampling. Denoising. Well, it's right here. Right here in the render. I mean, I'm right here. I don't know where the advanced. See here. Oh, right here in the viewpoint. Okay. Check the box, render, and use optical image denoise. Okay. And then click on viewport automatic, right? Type not supported by, okay. And it's not supported. Goodness. Hey, come on. If I go to supported, if I go to supported, it'll do it. Okay, I can't do that one. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, alright, there we go. You know, well, I went back to experimental and it went back to this. So, alright, let's keep going.
10 times on there, so we've got 150 glossy samples, 300 for the transmission, and that's pretty good. So you can see that we were able to clear that up, and we should have not that much of an effect over the rest of the scene. So all this other area over here should still be like rocket fast, but the glass itself, it'll take a little longer on because we're giving it more samples, because it needs more samples. So yeah. And by the way, if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, wow, I've never used branch path tracing, I only recently used it myself because I was thinking like, I was like looking at the thing and I'm like, man, it's really noisy on that coffee cup. And then I was like, wait, there's a feature in Blender where you can add more samples to the thing. And then I just delved deep into branched path tracing, and I learned all about it. So anyways, now that we've done this, let's give this a render with these new settings and see how this comes out. Okay, and this is the render that we've got. So it's now taking 39 seconds. It was 16 seconds before.
All right, let's see how long
it's much
this
clearer.
takes.
So this, by the way, we haven't talked about slots, but when you're rendering something, you can set the slot, and then you can go back and forth before. Yeah, so basically, if you want to like do a comparison, like say I make a change now and I want to do another render, you would set to an empty slot, like slot 5, then do the render, and then you can go back and revisit them. Anyways, so slot 3, this is how it looked before. 16 seconds, very noisy. Slot 4, it's more than doubled the render times, but it's night and day. The clarity and the detail in that coffee cup there is much clearer. You're seeing a lot more detail.
A little bit longer.
And when we do the denoising step, so this denoiser thing here, by the way, it's here, and we're previewing it by looking through the viewer node, and that's what's appearing in the background. But the render is actually, it's always defined by the composite node. So if you're looking in the compositor and things look different to what it is in the render, make sure that your composite and your viewer node are coming from the same place, okay? Yeah. By the way, when you make a change to the composite node, it won't change your render unless you are actively looking through the, through the image editor render result. And then when you do that, it'll actually update the finished render that you have done. And there you go. So that's our nice final crisp clear render. It's going to take 39 seconds on my two GTX 1080 Ti's. By the way, if you've only got one graphics card, if you had the exact same graphics card as me and you only had one of them, it would take basically double the render time, because the extra graphics cards you add are basically, it's
while
it's
he's
like having
talking
another computer.
while he's talking,
with it, which is why a lot of like 3D artists, they have multiple graphics cards stacked up on top of each other so that they can like churn through things faster. Anyways, so that's it. Now, one other final thing we're going to turn on is motion blur, because we've got an animation. We got to use a little bit of motion blur, and it should be nice and fast now because Blender's been recently updated so that motion blur used to take a really long time to render motion blur, but it should be relatively fast. Oh, I just realized for my comparison render, I set it to path tracing. Anyway, and one other final thing I would talk about is color grading. You can do color grading if you want. So if you go to the compositing tab over here, by the way, I'm hitting V and then Alt V to zoom in and out of the backdrop in the compositor.
Yeah.
But anyways, after your denoiser, if you wanted to do some color grading, you could add in a color balance node, and then this would give you this setup here if you wanted to do like some fancy color grading.
I don't want to do that.
Grading that's done on films, right? You've got the lift, gamma, gain, or what is actually preferred, because you'll manage your color data better, is offset, power, slope. Exactly looking same thing, except this middle slider here is like inverted. But anyway, if you wanted to like add like some like highlights to things, you could like increase that amount there, and you can see like the highlights are now a little tighter. And then you could also add, like, if you wanted to have maybe a little bit of a pink hue to the midtones, you could change this to the green place, because this middle slider is inverted. And in doing so, if I pull this out even further, you'll see it gets really purple there, right? So you kind of like, it's, you know, color grading is like it's like a whole other art that you have to learn to do well. So I don't know, I don't want to get too much into it, but I wanted to mention it briefly because it's something that you could do. And let's crush the midtones just a tiny little smidge there.
He's going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like I need the...
And that's basically all the color grading I'm going to do.
I don't think I'm going to do any color
If you want a really
grading.
simple way to color grade, you could change your look here to be instead of medium contrast by default, like high contrast or very high contrast, or the opposite direction. So you've got like some easy looks there if you want to flip through things.
Yeah.
And then you've also got curves down there. If you wanted to just like play around with this, you can do that as well. But the color grading, proper color grading, is done in the compositor, like so. So that's it. So motion blur is set. We've set up all our things. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do the final.
Oh, okay, hold on. I'm rendering this image just to see how it looks. So we're gonna before we do that, quote unquote, final render with his tutorial, because I'm gonna say this: we are going to be adding steam to the cup of coffee in the picture, and that's gonna be something that I am looking forward to doing as well. We're not gonna do that today, but we're gonna actually do the tutorial. Oh wow, it's done rendering. No, I'm gonna be doing steam. There's gonna be steam coming out of the cup. So out of the cup that's being rendered is that cup of coffee is gonna have a basically steam going. I don't think so. I think it's just with using smoke. Using smoke and the fan. I will be doing it on. I'm confused. Again, I am completely green. We will be doing that. Yeah. Oh, is fluid sim? Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah. Okay, then yes. The animated smoke. Yeah, we're gonna be using that, and there's a tutorial for that I saved that teaches you how to add steam. So I am good. That's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to be doing. So here we go. Okay, that looks good. All right, now we're gonna be adding the motion blur. Okay, I'm gonna rewind where he adds motion blur. Did he just add motion blur? Like he just clicked on it, or did he do something special? Nope, it's okay. Wait.
Okay. By the way, when you make a change
I just want
to
to
the
see.
composite node, it won't change. It won't change your render unless you are actively looking through.
All right, now.
Oh, come on.
Are we just?
Through
Yeah, I just need to know.
image.
Are we just clicking on motion blur?
Render result.
Motion
and then
blur.
when you do that, it'll actually update the finished render that you have done. And there you go. So that's our nice final crisp clear render. It's going to take 39 seconds on my two GTX 1080 Ti's. By the way, if you've only got one graphics card, if you had the exact same
I only have one
card as me,
graphics card, but I have a really good
you only had one of them,
CPU.
it would take basically double the render time because the extra graphics cards you add are basically, it's like having another computer assist with it, which is why a lot of like 3D artists, they have multiple graphics cards stacked up on top of each other so that they can like churn through things faster. Anyways, so that's it. Now, one other final thing we're going to turn on is motion blur. Because we've got an animation, we got to use a little bit of motion blur.
Okay.
And it should be nice and fast now. I don't know. I don't want to get too much. Instead of medium contrast by default, like high compositor, like so.
All right.
So that's it.
I'm
so
just
motion blur
moving
is
forward.
set. We've set up all our things. We're going to do it. We're going to do the final. We're going to do the final render.
Okay.
How about this? It's finally come to it.
Okay.
It's near the end. So to do our render, we want to render into frames. So to do this final render animation, a lot of people think that to render an animation to a final video, you would go, okay, so your output is here and your file format is PNG. Oh, I'm going to save it to like a movie. Don't do that.
No,
because when you do that, if you use any of these for your rendered output, what's going to happen is if you got like 99% of the way through your animation and then it crashed or your computer restarted because Windows is like, here's an update.
Yeah, really.
You're going to lose it. Or you could render the full thing and then that file could become corrupted for whatever reason.
Exactly.
That is a pain in the ass. And also, that's like a very lossy format. You're going to lose a lot of information in that. You don't want that. You want to render each frame to its own separate PNG. So you're going to end up with a folder with 30 PNGs in it afterwards. And then in the next video, we're going to be compiling that into one finished video. And we can do that inside of Blender. But it has to be done in 2 steps. It just has to be. It has to be. There's no other way. I will fight anyone who tells me otherwise, but you have to do it. It's 2 separate steps. So you're going to choose your folder here. So go ahead, find somewhere, obviously on your computer.
Oh, okay. Wait. What? Wait. Then you can use Blender to add your PNG to a video. All right. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So let's see here. We're going. Oh wow, we're so far out. It's not. Let's see here. All right. Wait, oh, wrong one. Blender 101. We're gonna do a new folder. We're gonna call it. Blender 101. Okay, come on. Animated. Yeah, we're gonna pick that one. All right. Accept. Animated. All right.
Let's go new folder, part 5, that's what this is. And we'll call this frames. So I typically just make a new folder in my blend folder. I call it frames. And then I add another one because it's always, you have to render multiple versions of the animation because you render the full thing out. You wake up in the morning and you check it and you go, damn, I forgot to turn that collection on or whatever. So 1, that's our first one. And I'm going to hit accept. So to render this, to start rendering.
All right, hold on. All right. So in that one, we're gonna do what he did. Call it frames, and then come on, and in that one, we're gonna do 1. There we go. All right, there we go. All right.
You hit F12, that's to render a still frame, and it's not saved anywhere until you actually go image save as. To render an animation, you go render animation. And when you do that, it'll cycle through it and it'll do frame by frame by frame. And at the end of each frame render, it will save it to the folder that you have specified as a PNG file. So this is going to take roughly 40 seconds.
All right.
Calculator.
Okay. Let's see how quickly this is gonna take.
60 seconds. 19 minutes?
Yeah.
19 minutes. That's pretty fast. I'll have lunch and I'll come back and it'll be done.
Yeah.
Because we're only doing 30 frames. So leave that to render, and then in the next video, I'll show you how to compile it into the final video, and that'll be the final video of this series. So join me and I will see you there.
All right. So. Oh yeah. And
It is the
all right, so then you can use the Blender to add your PNG. Yep. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to now yeah. Let's see here. Is it rendering at all? Oh, okay, see here. Okay, so we're probably going to be here for a while, from what my understanding is. See here. And render. And, all right, so, I think we're going to be, all right. I think we're gonna, because this is gonna be here for a while. What I'm probably gonna do is not do this whole dumb thing that I just did and start the. Oh, it's starting to render. Okay, so it's finally starting to. All right, so this is gonna be interesting because yeah, yeah, the final one is we're gonna be compiling the video. I think what I should do is before compiling the video, I should do the other tutorial first. And I think I should exit out of this. Let's be honest. Let's exit out of that. Let's hide that. And what I think what we should do, and I think what I should do is next week, before we do the final compiling, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put in the Steam animation, and I'll show it. And then what we'll do is that when we animate it next week, everybody will be able to see the Steam in the cup. So I will be adding Steam off camera, and yeah, and then I'll do the process of rendering all the images, and then together we will compile the final video, and yeah, we'll get to see Steam in the cup, and also as well as the thing, because at this, you know what, at this point I should also yeah, I'm gonna change this to change the coffee to tea, because when we do that, I actually want to have the tea there at this point, and we'll finish this off not as coffee, but as tea, as a very nice jasmine dragon pearl tea. And so that's what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and let's see. I don't know what is going on with my camera. I'm app. What's going on? Hold on. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. Give me a second. I'm still gonna be on camera. Just give me a second. I need to figure out what is going on here. No tea bag. No tea bag. I am not adding a tea bag. It's just gonna be the tea. It's just gonna be the tea itself. I don't want to have to create anything extra for it. Let's see here. I don't want to tax myself too much. Alright, let's see here. What is going on? Oh goodness. Alright, let's see here. Something happened with the camera. Okay, alright, that's what happened. Okay, let's try opening that up again. Let's see here. That should fix it properly. Let's see here. There we go. Alright, now I'm moving. Okay, alright, everyone, so I'm back. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do. Like I said, off camera, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add Steam to our very wonderful scene here with the coffee and donut, which is now going to be a tea and donut by the time I'm done with it. So once again, thank you everyone so much for watching. I will see you Saturday for our regular coffee date. We're doing another My Time at Etheria, and we're continuing on that adventure, and hopefully we'll be able to have our barista with us on that journey, and I look forward to seeing you all next time, my protagonists. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.